Yeah, I didn't know. Apparently, we get muted automatically.
Yeah,
So, all
yeah,
right.
we get muted automatically, so you have to purposefully unmute yourself.
Yep. All right. Do-do-do-do. Hi, everybody. To quote a lousy doctor, you know. So,
We're getting
do-do-do-do.
a new Ruko fucking voice bank, guys. Oh my god.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Yeah, Yokune Ruko, who is known for being a very famous Utau, is getting a cool voice bank, an AI voice bank. Hell yes. In this
Oh,
case, the AI is good.
okay, okay. I was about to say that. Which, whoa, okay,
The AI
okay.
is good here. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
The voice provider gets paid.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Do-do-do-do. So yeah, audience, we have two new guests for tonight, and I would like to thank both of them for joining us. So, it, do-do-do. So anyway, you guys just want to get started?
If you want, yeah.
All right. Well, we got a lot of books to talk about, so let's get the intros out of the way. Welcome to Comic Fanatic Live, the news and reviews of the week, audience. You're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415. Put a pepper in your menus, restaurants. That's all I ask. Oh, that's all I ask.
Since Jake and Austin are dead temporarily, I'm Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, pronouns they, he, and I can't find my crimper, so I can't style
Mm,
my. And we have two guests today joining us. Who wants to
yep.
go first?
I mean,
Who
I'm
knows?
happy to go first. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
Yeah.
first.
Give an
Yes.
intro. Yeah.
Hi, hi, I'm Marlo. And I was asked today to be on this, and I'm here. And I am a lifelong comics fan. I think,
Mhm.
and I love reading, the keeping up with this stuff. And yeah, I'm just here to chat comics and chat fun.
Yeah.
It's also
Cool.
currently 2 a.m., so we'll see how this
Mhm.
goes.
Yeah. Nice. Ace.
Oh, and my pronouns
Uh,
he, him. So
Your
Hi,
intro.
I'm Ace. I am a lifelong Marvel fan. Recently got into reading comics. Started with the Nick Spencer run of Amazing Spider-Man 2018. And then
Ooh.
I got really into reading X-Men books after X-Men 97. And
Mhm.
I'm happy to be here.
Yay.
And my pronouns are they them.
Yay.
Nice.
Also,
Cool.
I met Marlo on the unofficial Avengers Academy Discord.
Mhm.
Don't get me started what they decided to do on April Fool's Day, those fucking assholes. And
Gotcha.
I met
And,
Ace, I think, on the Inferno Discord server. I
mhm.
think that's the right one. It was one of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Discord servers I'm a part of. I'm only
Gotcha.
active on like 3.
Gotcha. And together, we are the Fanatics, here to bring you the news and reviews of the week, audience. And in our special Tuesday nights, God dang this pepper in the throat. And in our special Tuesday nights, we bring you the reviews. We
Yay!
have some Avengers Academy stuff to talk about, some Batman, your dose of Red Hulk patriotism, and some more Batman stuff, some Spiderman Noir, and your daily dose of X-Men. So,
And
oh,
some
before
scary books.
there you go, because we need our gore quota of the week, audience. So
Don't get it.
yeah. And I also hear we have a thing called socials, right? Which
Yeah, I heard that rumor. Let me pull up my list. Just imagine me
mhm.
shaking a piece of paper for the list, okay? First of all, subscribe to us because I said so, or else I'm killing Spider Boy.
A 10-year-old.
I'm
A
doing it.
10-year-old.
He's right here. He's watching Bluey. Just kidding.
Oh wow.
You can also find us
kidding.
on You can also find us on our Twitter at Comic Fanatics 69. We post every time there are updates or whenever we
Mhm,
go live, and also maybe some
mhm,
cool art if you follow us. So go follow us there.
mhm,
Um, if you want to just follow me because you think I'm cool and you like my nasally ass voice, you can find me on my own Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U because I'm cool like that. You can
mhm.
also find me on my Instagram and TikTok at witch_of_Jotunheim. I do try to post on there as much as humanly possible. You can also find me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Northstar Aria, Red Note / Xiao Hong Shu whenever I remember to post on that at Witch of Jotun. Ko-Fi, if you want to support me financially. I have a Ko-Fi at Witch of Jotunheim, and my commissions are always open. And Cryptid is just chilling after witnessing the spiciness of Korean dishes.
Yes.
And like I said, we also do have our guest today, so whoever wants to say their socials first, they definitely can.
Yeah, so I'm. Oh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna
Go ahead.
say, yeah, I'm Marlo. I'm 616 Impulse on Twitter, who is basically Tommy Shepard. Let's be real. Speed, because I have a brand. Yeah, and and if you see me on Twitter, we may fight, we may not. I don't know. I probably have like hit tweets every so often about, can I talk about something gay in comics? My most recent one was an Avengers Academy related hit tweet. So if you've seen anything about Avengers Academy, it might have been from me. So you're welcome.
There you go.
And Ace?
Ace?
Yeah, I'm Ace. I'm at Ace Space of Space X on Blue Sky. I post art and the occasional hot take there every now and then. And I'm at Ace of Spades on TikTok, all one word. I posted like 2 edits there, and I'll probably post another one soon once I get finished with it.
Cool. Well, guys, now that we got that out of the way, you want to get started?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I'm number 1. Ultimate
go.
X-Men issue 20. Let's go.
Go for it. Start us off.
It's a cool cover.
Yeah.
I promise it's not that gory this time, okay? I promise. There's not a lot of blood in this issue.
Got it.
Anyways, we see the cast as we always do, you know. And so it starts off, right? All right, let me set the scene for you. It starts off with a broadcast of Emperor Yoshida, aka Sunfire, giving a speech about what's been happening, you know, which is lovely. And we see some of the X-Men kids watching it, and they're like, what the fuck? I don't want to wear this mask anymore if he's just going to hide behind the mask. And everyone's like, wait a fucking minute. Don't do that. We wear this mask for our own fucking reasons. Don't do that. Anyways, so can you go to the next picture?
Sure thing.
Yeah, we get to see Nico do Nico things. Yay!
Nice.
You know, she's doing her thing, and she's also watching the broadcast, and she's like, hold on, I gotta get a picture of this. Like, I recognize that woman, you know? And she's looking at the picture, she's like, wait. It's like, yeah, I know who this person is. She was chilling out with the Meister, whatever, the Sinister. His name's
Sinister.
I don't know why he's called the Master, whatever the fuck. Okay?
Yeah.
Sinister.
Let's refrain from having a person called Sinister Master after all. You know? Nobody should call him that.
He's a bitch. I think it would be funny if I convinced my friend who cosplays Mr. Sinister to cosplay this version, but whatever. I digress. So she like remembers about Viper. She's like, I must tell the squad. And so we cut to this dingy looking house kind of, but you know what? It's still chill. And why am I Futaba? That's what her name is. I'm still remembering some of these people's names. You know, she's like doing some research and everything about the lady who was standing next to Sunfire and everything. And all this other stuff. And, you know, Nico gives her take on, like, what she witnessed and everything like that, you know? And apparently, Emperor Yoshida's a mutant. Shocker.
Gasp.
Raise your hand if you're shocked. No one? Great.
A mutant gets revealed in an X-Men book? Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No? You know, technically, Nico's not even a mutant, but you know what? She can be if she wanted to, honestly. We don't have to get into the logistics of that. Yep. Anyways, so basically, Nazis like, and so like they're like, oh, like seriously, they're testing on his own kind, like that's a fucking asshole, and like on like, you know, and Futaba's like, I don't know, maybe like they're creating some like super mutant soldiers, you know, and fucking Kanon is like, we gotta do something. We gotta fight, you know? And she's like, fuck this, fuck the government. I'm going after these people, and I'm not stopping without a fight. And she just drives away before like Nico and Mori can like stop her, you know. And I swear, some of these like expressions they do for Mori is adorable, and honestly, they would make great emotes on Discord or like a cute little profile pic. So keep an eye out. Anyway, so we cut to a park where we see Surge sucking on a battery on the swings, as you do.
Ooh,
Who doesn't do that on
okay.
like a random Tuesday today? Just kidding. I didn't go to a park today, and I don't have batteries.
No.
So she witnesses this kid getting picked on by some other kids. You know how kids are; they're fucking assholes.
Yep.
And she goes up to these kids, and she's like, "Hey, like, are you guys playing a game? Like, I want to play too." She basically like kind of like grabs one of the kids' arm and like kind of squeezes it kind of hard, while the others run away, and they call her like a monster and everything like that. And so she checks up on the kid, and she's like, you know, if someone hits you, like, you got to hit them back. Like, don't just take it. And the kid's like, oh, mom says, like, fighting doesn't change anything. And it's like, she's like, do you want to learn how to fight? Like, I got you. Anyways, so we cut to a news broadcast, talking about mutants again. You know how it be. They always do that. Anyways, so basically, there is an incident that disrupts their broadcast. And can you go to the next picture, please?
Yep.
Yeah! Yeah! The biker gang.
There you go.
The mutant protest, and she's like basically being like, hey, do you want to know about a cult? Talk about the fucking government. And like Futaba's like, what the fuck? Like you see her in like a cafe type thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so we cut to the Imperial Capital, where we see Sunfire and Viper watching this. And she's like, oh, like I can't, like, oh, like no one should care about like these, like this gutter trash and everything like that. Like I could take care of them. And Sunfire's like, no, they've drawn enough attention to themselves. Like we'll not validate them with official acts. Like, you know, action or whatever. And basically he like he tells her to like deal with it, but not actually killing them. But if they try this shit again, like they have countermeasures. And can you go to the next picture, please? The green people. The green people. Just kidding. They're not technically green.
I call them the tube people.
They are in tubes.
Yep.
They are in tubes. They're the My Ex soldiers because Sinister's a bitch. If you take anything away from X-Men comics, and I feel like AS Marlo can agree with me, Sinister's a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Signed. Signed.
We need more villains that people hate. After all, you know.
No, but there's people that actually really like them, though.
I don't get it.
Yeah, me either.
People would just like. I would think like people would just like the cruelty of Sinister. You know, some people are like that. I guess. You know.
Yeah, I need to bring my friend Alexis on here and be like, hey, can you explain to me why you like Mr. Sinister? Just like get like one of those like tiny microphones on the street, you know, those street interviewers. Like, why do you personally like Mr. Sinister?
Some people like a heel just to see them get punched in the face, you know? So
yeah. I mean, I would like to punch him in the face. Have you seen him in the Marvel Mangaverse? Jesus Christ. He had this like emo fringe thing going on, and then when he took off his wig, because he wears a fucking wig, guys. Oh my god.
No.
All that cloning technology he has up his disposal, and he still resorts to using toupees. Wow.
Yeah, just in the Mangaverse, really. Yeah. Anyways, so moving on, we cut to a garage park or whatever, a parking garage, and we see a bunch of like those bikes from the gang, and Kanon's like, "Oh, yo, gang, it's chow time," and she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And hold on, I'm accidentally skipped. So basically. Viper's like basically like Kanon, like hooligan, mutant, troublemaker, finder of the meat case, which is true. And so she's like, how the hell do you know any of that? Are you the one who hassled my brother, made him quit his job, signed that stupid ass contract? So basically Viper uses like this like whip thing to grab like like her weapon, like Kanon's weapon thingy or whatever. I don't know what they're actually called, but leave me alone. And so she basically grabs it and snaps it in half. And Kanon's like, that was my brother's. And so Viper proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of her.
Mm-hmm.
What did my girl do? What did my girl do? She was speaking out against a corrupt government, okay?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so basically, Viper's like, you're society's garbage. Like, no one will miss you when you disappear, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Basically, Kanon goes back to the rest of the group, you know, the main group that we actually care about, and basically, like, tells them what happens, you know? But don't worry, she ain't a narc. Okay, if you take anything out of this comic, Kanon is not a narc, and we'll appreciate that.
Right.
Anyways, so Modi's like, oh, so what? They're gonna come after us now? And so, you know, May is like, let them come. I'm done fucking hiding, dude. This shit's been a shit show with, like, the fucking Children of the Atom and Kageyama. Like, Jesus Christ. This is much more than just them now. And everything like that. And so, Natsu checks up on, Hisako, and so she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, there's just something about Kageyama that I still feel uneasy about. You know how it be. And we got a little bit of horror aspects into it, more than just people in tubes, you know, and all this other stuff. Can you go to the next page? Go on our last page. Booyah! Look who it is.
Who is it? Which?
It's Kageyama, aka the Shadow King.
He's back.
He's back. Anyways, so yeah, he's basically acting like a fucking yandere now. Like, he's like, if I can't have Hisako, no one can. I will kill anyone who stands in my way. And he's like, wait for me, Hisako. Like a fucking creepo, dude. And that's where the issue ends. We do get a little lexicon, as we always do. And we get, like, a derpy little Thor doodle with, like, a little, like, storm doodle next to it. And she's like, let's go eat some soba. That's where the issue ends. Yeah, I think the next couple of issues are just going to be people on bikes. So that'll be cool to see.
Ooh. The biker gang, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like another cool issue. So,
I mean, this book has not failed me yet. I just want to see Akihiro again, please, Marvel. Peach, yeah, give me more Aki. I need to send pictures to my friend Al.
There you go. Before we can talk more about Aki, we gotta move on to the next book. So, alright then. I guess
I don't even talk about Helverine on this channel.
Alright. So,
alright. So I'm glad we could start off with something positive in a book we all enjoy. Because I read the original run of Spiderman Noir not when it first came out, but like I read the original one.
I'm working on reading the original.
It's really good. It's really dark.
Noir though, the first one.
Oh yeah. But I really like that book. It's pretty like dark and grimy and everything, and the world's like all messed up. Some of you may have heard about it, but in recent years, Spider-Man Noir has kind of moved away from everything that made him because of like synergy and stuff. And now we're here, and I did not like this issue.
We gotta blame Nicolas Cage for that.
Yeah, I actually like him in those movies, but I'm just like, why did it have to happen to the comics?
Yeah. They take it seems to be a habit where people would take the wrong lessons out of an adaptation, you know. So I think that's the case of this.
Yeah. Can we move to the next image?
The next one.
So this book starts off with Spider-Man Noir doing a classic fight like near the docks or or something, fighting a bunch of guys near like shipping containers and stuff. It's pretty classic stuff. He's fighting a new group of enemies called the Scorpion Gang, which obviously like from Scorpion, from the main universe. But you might notice something different about him. He's quipping like a lot,
Oh
like a lot,
no.
like 616 Peter. This isn't
Ah,
616 Peter.
man.
Spider-Man Noir isn't supposed to
What?
do this. He's
No,
supposed to
I
be
I
like,
only read the first issue, and I know that he does not quip that often.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
yeah,
felt quite
what?
like dissonant
Yeah.
to what I know of noir, and it
Mhm.
felt like it's making all these 1939 references, and it's trying to be
Yeah.
in the era. But yeah, it's just the quipping just doesn't seem to. There's something there that's just not clicking with this
Yeah.
adaptation or like this version, I think.
Man, I still even remember back when Ultimate Spider-Man had a show, right? When they even introduced Spider-Man Noir, the pun about that was that version of Spider-Man was completely serious, no
yeah.
jokes, no quips, and like. But now here we are in this comic, like, oh boy.
And even that
What?
mid adaptation and that bad show like did more justice than you. He wasn't even like
Yeah.
this in the movies. Like he didn't quip that much, and he had like
Mhm.
a more dry sense of humor. But here they're just making him like a carbon copy of 616 Peter, like a
You know,
poorly written 616
you,
Peter.
if they wanted to handle this with justice, they should have given it the black, white, and red treatment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
This
wish.
you talking about this is reminding me of how I felt about the recent Spider Punk comic.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm so upset that they didn't give a Doc Ock of that a comic the Ozzy Osbourne look. Like, come on, it writes itself,
He's
Like,
a capitalist pig. Why would he?
yeah. I
yeah.
want I want to see Otto bite the head off a spider, So it writes itself.
How big a spider does it have to be to bite? Like, I'm just not trying to picture that.
Oh, man.
Uh,
So,
but yeah, he
um,
fights the gang. Oh, sorry, we're gonna say
qu-
something.
yeah. Quick question, Ace. Who's writing this comic?
Uh, Larson. I think it's Eric Larson.
Larson.
Let me like double check.
Yeah.
Um,
Do-do-do-do.
People are writing this comic.
yep.
Yeah, we'll just go
So
with
yep,
that.
Eric Larson. I was right. Eric
Eric
Larson.
Larson. Okay, not too familiar with Eric's work, so
Yeah,
yeah,
me either. And this is giving me a bad first impression.
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope his other work is different, but I
Mhm,
don't know. It's just oof. Anyways,
mhm.
after this fight scene, Spider-Man Noir beats all of them up. There's even like a segment in here. I didn't put the panel in here, but like he goes on a whole rant about like when he's about to be killed, when he's like just remember that the Spider-Man has a hyphen in it. I don't want to be misspelled my identity. That's
Oh
literally
my
ripped
god.
straight out of the flipping PS4 game. Like
Oh
just
damn.
ripping on like main Peter. Like why is he talking like this? I don't.
Do you think this person has ever read the original Spider-Man Noir comic?
No, I don't
Yeah,
think so because I did, and I know he's not supposed to be like this. It's a
Because
yeah,
like it's the noir universe. Typically like noir flicks, which is what they took inspiration for, is very like dark and grim kind of. And
yeah.
exactly.
It's
so
like,
I don't know. I think this is definitely movie Spider-Man Noir.
Part of me wonders, like, because remember, I'm assuming that they released this book, assuming that the Spider-Man Noir project from Sony was going to come out. So
Yes,
I mean,
yes. I think that was a tie-in. I think that's why you got
yeah,
another book.
yeah, because like I think like I don't know what the tone of that project's going to be. If there was like any discussions between the creative teams about that, which is why they decided to make this funny. But I don't know. But I'm not
Like
behind the
we should be
scenes.
allowed to have dark books in our Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That isn't just
Mhm.
Marvel zombies.
Yep.
Let Spider-Man
Mhm.
Noir be edgy and sad or whatever.
I haven't
well,
even
Yeah,
read the
yeah.
Spider-Man India one that came out first in these new ones, but like I don't know if it was as good as the original. I don't remember if the original was good.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I think I read it once. It was like whatever. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I don't know.
Mhm.
I think
It's
there's
Um,
a.
just lost in
I'm
it's
just
just
thinking
lost in
about
the
it more like
sequel.
this with the quippiness. I was just gonna say, like, there seems to be like it's like there's a way to do a noir story without leaning into this many jokes and make it this
Mhm.
616 Peter. And I feel like
Yeah.
there seems to be like a whole I feel like Marvel's playing it very safe with the comics they're producing it right now, other than something like
Yeah,
Ultimate X-Men, and it just goes kind of like night and day what we're kind of getting at the moment. Yeah.
exactly. You know,
Yeah, 616 is suffering right now.
quantity over quality.
Yeah.
So, all right, continue on, Ace.
Yeah, but it's just like pages and pages of him equipping at them, and then once he beats all of them up, he gets away, and then he has to uh struggle with like paying the rent for like his practice, which wasn't really a concern. Um, Peter had in
Okay.
the original Noir run, like there were bigger
Yeah.
things going on, but I just like worry about rent, which I'm like, I don't know,
Eh,
I'm whatever about it.
That's
It's a real problem, but it also still feels like they're leaning heavily into 616 Peter with
I
this stuff.
I feel like Eric probably just took like a 5 minute Google search of Noir and said like, okay, that's all I need
Yeah,
They
to
just
know, you
watched
know.
the
So
movie.
yeah, pretty much. So
and then if we go to the next slide,
I'll bring it. Yep. Do. Oh, great. We need more
oh,
blondes. Oh, sorry.
We
Wait,
need
hold on a
more
second.
Gwen Stacy.
yeah, who to our wandering eyes should appear but Gwendolyn Stacy.
This is only like the fifth Gwen Stacy we've seen in comics currently.
I'm
So yeah.
tired, dude. I'm so tired. We Marvel needs to let her go, bro. Like I do not
You
understand
know
why
what?
they're
They
so
need
Dude,
to
obsessed
bring
with
back
her.
Marvel since they're
dude.
bringing
In
back Gwen
in
Stacy for the
in
20.
this day, you guys, y'all remember that one scene in Spider-Man 1 where, all the New Yorkers gathered together to, throw stuff at Green Goblin, like, hey, you mess
Yeah.
with one of us, you mess with all of us. Nowadays, we will all be cheering for Green Goblin if he was about to throw Gwen Stacy. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they were
go
cheering
Green.
because he was trying to throw MJ off the bridge. If that was Gwen up there, they would have
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would have
go
sided with
Green,
them.
go Green. Like,
I've always said that Norman did Peter. we need.
dude,
I'm so sick and tired of her. There's so many of her
yeah,
running around now, and they try to put like Gwen in the main universe and stuff, and it's
yeah.
like Spider Gwen in the main
She,
universe and stuff, and it's like
she's
why?
she's the ex-girlfriend who will never let you move on. She'll
Yeah.
always remind you of how fucked up, how badly you beat up. So
There's just it's so weird about her, and I'm like, just stop. She died like
Mhm,
forever ago. Like, can we move
mhm.
They
past
brought it
this?
back officially though.
They did.
Yep.
It was specifically the clone Gwen from Clone Conspiracy. They brought her back and basically made her the evil Gwenpool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even
So
though
the
she
main,
has no relation to Gwenpool at all, and Gwenpool has
and
no relation to her.
it it's a weird scenario to think that the main character is now taking the mantle of their parody version. That's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. But anyway, so what does Gwen do here?
So she comes in to ask for Peter's services
Mm,
to investigate the death of one Captain George Stacy, baby. He's here too, I guess.
okay, okay.
And he's been murdered, so George stays dead. um and so Peter has to go investigate about that. He gets like a little bit of money from her, which he's able to give to his landlord and temporarily solve his problem. Um, and then he goes to. They just like he just gets into the room with the body for some reason as they're like as clearly they've been like doing an autopsy in it. Like the doctor guy
Mm,
there just like lets him in, and he just starts like
mm,
poking around and grabs something from the body before a police
mm.
officer kicks out, which I find weird. Like there wasn't any
That
like security around, especially because there's supposed to be some sort of conspiracy going on with him and
yeah.
his death. Like
I
why
I
would you
can
just let him
only
Or
in
killed
there?
them. Captain
I,
Namor killed them. Just kidding.
I can already imagine like Eric just put that scene in there to kind of say, look, this is edgy, right? This is serious, like let's see an
Yeah.
autopsy, let's go in an autopsy room, I'm like,
And then like the cop comes and kicks him up, and I'm like, where were you before? Like, weren't you guarding the body?
I
I don't
know.
know. And then he goes. So Spider-Man, Peter comes back in the night as Spider-Man to poke around, and he finds like some sort of like red thread on Stacy's body. So he's like, "Oh, what's this
Oh
about?"
boy.
But then the cops show up, and they're like, "Oh, Spider-Man!" And they shoot at him, and he has to flee the scene. Um, and then he heads back to his office, and in the morning he goes to Gwen's house where she formerly lived with her dad. Um,
Okay.
and they do some investigating, and and she shows him this big safe, which I guess is gonna be a mystery. Also, Peter like breaks the fourth wall here. I don't know
Oh
why.
boy.
Like Gwen's like he's like, you wouldn't happen to know the combination of the safe, do you? And she's like, I'm sorry, no. And she's like, is that gonna be a problem? He's like, you know. And then he turns around to the camera, or like the viewer or whatever, and he's like, I don't think that is. And he's like holding up one finger and
That's what
smirking. And I'm
I,
like,
I
what?
I swear, Ultimate Spider-Man, that TV show, ruined the concept of the fourth wall break for Peter for me.
God, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
But anyways, could you please go to the next slide?
Sure thing. Right
And then we
there.
get to Aunt May in this, and so Aunt May has found out. I think she found out at the end of the original Noir run, if I remember correctly, that Peter was Spider-Man Noir, and that kind of ruined their relationship. But in this book, she's like mostly like doting on him. She's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be getting into dangerous fights or whatever." They don't have like serious conversations about the fact that he goes out and shoots people with
Yeah.
guns and stuff every night.
Beats
Yeah,
up
yeah,
Nazis.
yeah, Peter. I mean, it's not like you died and in the line of duty already, right? Like, oh, yeah.
And it's more like,
Mhm.
oh, it's my aunt's like nagging me all the time. That's just like what
Oh, boy.
Peter thinks about the whole thing. And then we
Yeah.
get to this scene, and it's all like, um, May like keeps nagging him or whatever about like how much he's been eating, and like he just keeps repeating like, I'm eating like a horse, and he keeps saying like a horse and not like answering anything else she's saying.
You
I,
know,
Mhm.
you know what would have made this 10 times better, this comic, if they would have actually put in 1930s quips and like sayings and stuff, like slang.
Yeah. Some pop culture references from that
But you
stuff.
see,
Like,
there is a pop culture reference in this afterwards, because they talk about the Wizard of Oz
ah,
movie. The,
Didn't that
they
come
they're
out
like, reference.
ah, the
Sorry, what were you
Craven
saying?
origin.
Didn't that movie come out in 1939?
Yeah, this comic takes place in 1939.
hmm
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
like, we're topical.
Secret.
And Aunt May is like, you
se-
should see the movie. It was great. And Peter's like, I think the book was better or whatever.
Like,
Secretly, the lion from that movie ends up becoming the Craven of this universe. Yeah.
and
uh, oh
from like
god.
a history perspective, thinking about like the timing of like this, obviously, like I'm just thinking like I really like, even though said he read the book, there's also, I think before this there was other versions of the Wizard of Oz as like an
Mhm.
adaptation. So he even said that like he just like, it feels like he's trying to really push this, oh, I'm this really weird characterization of Noir, and it just feels like
Yeah.
if it was any other character, I feel like it could have been okay. Or if it was like Peter going back to
Mhm.
1939, it was like a rather than, oh, was Spider-Man Noir and the Noir world, and I think that's the biggest like dissonance here, like for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
As
think
some,
Noir reads
It's
books.
accurate.
I think he just
Mhm.
mostly spends his time like brooding and stuff. I don't really buy that he would have like a big opinion about this whole thing, but it's like, uh,
It's a non-noir fan's interpretation of a noir story, basically. You
yeah.
know. Mhm. So yeah.
But then after this, he goes and fights like a bat dude who's like a Nazi guy, and he's like, America's gonna join the Nazis, and Spider-Man's like, shut up, and he beats him up at like
Oh,
this like carnival thing or whatever.
see,
Um,
Baron Blood. I'm assuming. Yeah.
it's just, well, I mean, maybe it's just like a
Yeah.
guy who's like a bat, but like I
Yeah.
don't know if he's
Baron
even
Blood.
named.
Yeah, Baron
I
Blood.
know
He's a Captain America villain that's a Nazi who turned
Oh
into a
wait,
vampire.
I know it says his name is like Fleegend,
Oh well.
Fledermaus.
Okay, then I
So
have no idea. So
yeah, I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
okay.
But then he beats him
Perseverance
up.
maybe on it. First appearance,
Maybe.
maybe audience. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Keep an eye out for this one. He's gonna be a big A-lister after this.
Yeah.
But then after that, he beats him up, and then he hands him over to the cops, and he's like, see, I'm on your side. And I'm like, shouldn't the cops and him be like still fighting or whatever? Like they caught him yesterday trying to break into their secret evidence room for this thing they were clearly trying to cover up or whatever. I feel like
Yeah.
they should have more beef. You just like, see, I'm on your side, and they're like, yeah, if you were really on our side, you would have recovered the cash. And he's like, what's the use? And he swings away. But then apparently one of the $5 bills stuck to him, so he's able to buy himself dinner. Um, and then he goes back home and he looks through some files on George Stacy. And at the end of the book reveals that George Stacy was a member of the Scorpion Gang, and the person who killed him was Spider-Man. Whoa! Peter
Oh.
killed Gwen's dad.
Wow. Well, you gotta leave them with something to want to come back for a second round. So
Yeah.
Mhm. Are you sticking around for round 2? Ace?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll play it by ear, see if it gets better.
Gotcha. I'm assuming it's a mini series, right?
Yeah, probably.
Gotcha. Well, it can only get better from here. Think of it that way.
I hope so.
So, yeah. But yeah. Any final thoughts on this before we move on, Ace?
I just hope Spider-Man Noir returns to his normal self. I hope their big reveals that this was Chameleon the whole time, and the real Spider-Man Noir bumps him on the head, and he's like, "I'm back, baby."
There you go. There you go. We go for the best audience. But alright then. I guess with that, let's move on to the next book, audience.
Surprise! It's
And
me again.
yay, another Ace book. So go for
Uh,
it.
so this I've heard a lot of mixed things about the last Batman run. Apparently, a lot of
Mhm.
people didn't like it. I didn't really read that much of it.
Mhm.
But I, as someone who isn't the biggest DC fan and hasn't really read a lot of like modern Batman, I've read like some of the classic stuff. Like I've read like
Yeah.
Death in the Family, Lonely Place of Dying, um, the Batman the Cults, which is like a really good like one that a lot of people don't know about. It's really
What
psychological and like messed up.
what
And one of the
one
few
Batman?
Jason stories.
Oh, okay. So it's a past story.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um, But anyways, all that being said, this new run by Matt Fraction and
Ah,
uh Ori Jimenez is fucking this is great. I love
oh,
this run. The art by
mhm.
Jimenez is beautiful. Um, Obviously like I assume some of you have seen his like Superman work. It's
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
all great. Um,
Mhm.
and this one is Tim, and I love Tim. He's my favorite Robin. And everybody hates Tim,
I don't get it.
including
I don't get
DC.
it. I'm a
It's
I
big
just
don't
fan
in
of
the
either.
too.
look. It's just the totem poles of the Robins when you're trying to stack up who's the more favorable Robin. Of
Yeah,
course, it's normally Dick. Then I would say Damien's the next one, and by that situation, Tim will be third. So
yeah, but Tim's cooler than Damien. Like, no hate to Damien or whatever, but
yeah,
Tim's like a pioneer.
yeah.
Who's the first Robin to wear pants? That was Tim. Okay, he engineered that shit. All right, the
Mhm,
He
staff,
was like,
bow
I am
staff,
not a
that
circus.
was him.
Tim
Sorry,
was
what
like,
were you
I am
saying?
not a circus boy. I am wearing something that makes sense for me.
Yeah, and he
I feel like
pioneered the red and black and stuff too. Like that was all him. He served the best looks. He was like the best detective at all the Robins. Like
Mhm,
he's great. I love him. But
I
DC
yeah.
think
hasn't been treating him well in the past couple of years.
yeah. I really think if people
Mhm,
went
No, I
back and
would
read
say.
like the 91 series of Robin and like the early kind of Robin's Tim Drake Robin stuff, they might be like change their mind on him. I feel like not enough people have actually read his solo stuff, especially the older solo stuff,
yeah.
which will show like what a good characterization of Tim could be. And I feel like I'm someone who
Mhm,
actually has read like a lot of it, and it's like there's some really great stuff in there. But obviously it's kind of funny to hate on Tim in a way. So
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely.
sometimes to
No,
move
it's he
forward, you gotta
suffers
step.
from like the thing that a lot of other queer characters have to deal with is that they're in the basement until Pride rolls around, and then you see them for like one comic.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, but anyways, this issue gave Tim some flowers, which is you're gonna think that's funny me saying that before what I'm about to describe to you afterwards, but I promise this issue is good to him. But anyways, could you go to the next image, please?
Sure thing.
What happens is Tim is out and about, is robbing. He stops this robber guy, and the police hold him and the robber guy at gunpoint. And the guy the robber he was stopping starts running. So the police guy shoots him dead right there on
Oh,
the spot.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Tim's like, "You shot him!" And he's like, "He's fleeing this. He was a suspect fleeing the scene. We can use lethal force as necessary to get on the ground." And Tim's like, "Nah, I'm good." So he throws down a smoke bomb and starts using his bat boots, which I find funny because like these like issues you use like little text boxes for like the back tech that they're using, which I think is fun. Um,
Yeah.
but he jumps up onto like off of the walls and the fire escape and nearly gets out of there before he is shot by the
again.
officer, and he falls down. And then like throughout this issue we keep getting flashbacks to like the first time Bruce was teaching Tim how to drive. um Tim got hyped up because he thought he was going to drive the Batmobile, but then Bruce just like puts him in a truck and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's cool too, whatever." He's like, "Oh, we
Mhm.
got to start you off small." um, Meanwhile, like Damien is like trying to be annoying and everything. Um, and then we cut back to the present. And Tim is dealing with the fact that he got shot and he regains consciousness inside this police van with a bunch of other um criminals that they've arrested. Um, and then while they're riding off, Tim's like, "All right, we're all in the same boat. You know what I mean? It's all been a rough night for all of us. Why don't we just chill out?" And they're like, "Nah." And so they try to
Mhm.
fight Tim, and Tim, who has just been shot like in his side, mind you, beats the brakes off of all of them because he's goaded.
Shit.
Also, he's handcuffed while he's doing this. Like a lot, these guys aren't, and he's just like flipping around in there, kicking them and stuff. And he's putting in the work. And then he does get thrown by one of them though, and then one of the officers is like, "This kid's kind of holding his own," and the other one's like, the one who shot him is like, "Not for long," and he tries to like turn the car to like make him fall, but Tim just like does like a barrel roll in midair, and all of the other guys fall to the side. Um,
Mhm.
and then he manages to break his handcuffs and try to escape. And at that time, the police van rolls into bat spikes, which Batman
Okay.
has put on the road to stop the car, and they
Okay.
crash.
Okay.
And then if you could please go to the next slide.
Next shifting. Do. There we go.
Then I love these panels. Batman opens the door to see how Robin is doing. He's like, "Rough night," and he's like, "Worse for them." um, and he just he starts getting out of there, and then the trigger happy cop guy is like, "Don't you freaks move!" And then Robin's like, "Hey, be careful, Batman. That one shot a fleeing suspect in the back and killed him, and you shot me too." And Batman's like, mm. And he's like, I'll
Mhm.
do it again if I gotta. I ain't afraid of you." And the other one's like, "Fargus, come on." He's like, "You're on their side now."
Dude,
Um,
that cop needs to get a life.
yeah,
Mhm.
no, literally, he needs
Like,
to get a life. Like
on a
he's
shooting range, those are
That's
like that's a safe environment to shoot things at in a shooting range.
that's just the way
yeah.
Gotham works. Gotham breaks you down. Just something about that city.
I bet
Yeah.
rent's cheap, though. I would move to Gotham because of the cheap rent.
I feel like that's
Ooh,
why most people live there, honestly. The rent's gotta be like dirt cheap.
I mean,
yes.
I'm not complaining. You know,
Yeah.
maybe I can make
Yep.
friends with some of the villains. Who knows?
You pretty much
Nobody
have to if you
complains
want
until
to
they put like
survive.
fear toxin in your like tap water or something.
Like, little bit of beer toxin in the
Well,
water is
I know how to boil
fine.
water.
Mhm.
There's probably like a tutorial online in like the DC universe being like how to get fear toxin out of the water.
Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt that. I believe it.
Yep.
But anyways, one of the cops is like, "What are you talking about? They're on our side." And then if you could please go to the next panel.
Should be.
Batman delivers the hardest line in this history. Is like, "Police brutality and murder puts us on opposite sides, officers."
Hell
Mhm.
yeah.
And then
Mhm.
the trigger happy cop is like, "Says the vigilante," and he points a shotgun up to Batman. And the other one's like, "Hey, don't you do it! I swear to God!" And then Batman like stares him down. And then both of the officers pull the trigger at the same time, and Batman grabs Robin and moves out of the way. Um, as the officer who was like hesitant about the whole thing and was turning on his partner, he gets shot by the trigger happy cop. Um,
Mhm.
and then Robin's like, "Give me that," and he disarms the gun, and then Batman kicks the guy with the shotgun. And he's like, "Good lord!" Shot his own partner. Um, and then Batman turns to Robin. He's like, "We need to get you out of there." And he's like, "I'm fine. My armor took most of it, trying to stop the bleed." And then the trigger happy cop, he pulls out a shotgun. Um, and he gets a shot off at Batman. He shoots him in the back of his head with the shotgun.
Okay.
Batman like tanks it though. Like most people,
He
that'd be
did it like a
GG's.
champ,
No,
guys.
look. The point where you have Batman surviving a fall from outer space and
Yeah,
hitting Earth, like, come on, what can't Batman get out of? Like,
And we
so.
had Robin about 5 minutes ago breaking handcuffs. So I feel like Batman
yeah,
taking a shot to the head is like, I can
Yeah.
believe that.
they're built different.
Batman gives them good vitamin pills for his Robins. I gotta say that,
Yeah, it's those
So
Flintstone vitamin gummies. You know the one.
yeah.
He's like, take your gummies.
But like, even though he got shot in the back of the head, Batman just looks like he hit his head really hard on something. He's like, "Ah, my neck." The Robin's like, "Batman." Um, and then we cut to like another flashback after the whole driving thing. Um, and Bruce is like, You're in your own head about it now," and Tim's like, "Yeah, I just wasn't ready." He's like, "You are ready, but you got in your own head." He's like, "I just kept thinking, what if I had to drive the Batmo in a?" He's trying to call the Batmobile the Batmo in this issue, which is kind of fun.
Oh boy.
And he's like, and I couldn't get it to move, and then he was like, then I started choking and was like, "Don't think about choking," which only made it worse. And Bruce is like, if you could please go to the next panel."
Oh, I think that was all actually.
Oh, is
Only
it?
had four
No, I thought
picture.
no.
Yeah.
I sent another one.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, that's my bad. Sorry.
Oh, that's all good. In the next one, Bruce just goes. It's this really lovely moment where he just goes like, "If that time ever comes, Tim, there's nobody I'd want behind the wheel more than you. You're my partner, and I trust you." Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just kind of walk away, and he's like, and Bruce is like, "For now, you work on trusting you the way I trust you, and we'll get there, okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, thanks." And he's like, "Of course. Don't call it the Batmobile. Nobody calls it that." And he's like, "Nobody calls it that yet." Um.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut back to the present, and Tim's like, "Oh, are you still with me?" Um, as Bruce's vision is like fading in now, and he's like, yeah." He's like, "Man, you nearly got your bell rung. We gotta go." And he like picks him up, and Bruce is like, "All right, I might throw up," and he's like, "Well, don't, but I'll tell Damien you'll never hear the end of it." um, and then Tim also patches up the officer guy who got shot. And then they climb in the mobile. Um, and then Bevan's like, "No, that's fine. I tech that shit. I can drive." Tim's like, "Fuck,
He's
you
like,
can. You just took a shotgun blast to the head, dude."
Yeah.
he's like my
um,
Yeah.
ass.
yeah.
Mhm.
But so Tim buckles him up, and he's like, Bruce is like, You're bleeding," and he was like, "Yeah, well, I'm in better shape than you." And he starts pedaling the Batmobile, and he's like, "How many gears does this thing have, anyways?" And he's like, 13. And he's like, what the hell do you need 13 dealers? And he's like, don't yell. He's like, listen, I got the 9 standard, 3 quantum gears for use during spatial temporal crisis events. Then there's the secret gear, 13. I was like, secret gear, what does that even mean? He's like, it means I have the coolest car in the world. Now drive. And they get out of there. And then at the end of it, Commissioner Savage, who I don't know if you guys have been following the run, but Vandal Savage has taken over as police commissioner, and Gordon's just like his B cop now.
I feel
Yes.
like the whole. Wait, you said who popped up here? Ace.
Vandal Savage has taken over
Okay,
the GCPD.
Yeah, I feel like that was a golden nugget that Matt Fraction is probably trying to build off of when Chip Zdarsky was writing Batman, because like
Yeah, I think so
yeah,
too.
it was very obvious, like, Chip Zdarsky realized his time was coming to an end with his Batman run, but he really wanted to put Vandal Savage in his book, so
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
And then oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he wants to get back to the Batcave after all, so mhm.
But then at the end of the issue, Vandal Savage like inspects like crime scene and he like smirks and then it goes back to like the police headquarters and he's like, well, you might not. He's like, you want to know what happened on our streets tonight? We lost one of our own. Another is in critical condition. What you might not know is who is responsible for the shameless, cowardly act on our brothers. I know the mayor and your leadership entertain certain arrangements with regard to amateur law enforcement in Gotham, but I'm changing policy. The mayor disagrees. He can ask one of you to arrest me. Until then, Batman and Robin are now criminal combatants and enemies of the GCPD. So yeah, the cops are after him.
Can't win.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, cops will get an extra 10 plus power buff whenever they go after superheroes. I mean, that's always that's always like a trope. Whenever a villain, has their doomsday plan around the city, cops can't do anything but rely on the superheroes. But when they go after the superheroes, all of a sudden they had their power.
Oh,
Yep.
they're like they could do their
Right.
jobs.
Like, God dang it! Come on, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of in the Zdarsky Spectacular Spider-Man run where like Jameson was mayor and he formed like an entire like anti-Spider-Man like elite task force to go after like raid his apartment and stuff.
Yeah, of course he would.
Jameson's better nowadays though. He's chill.
Yeah. Yep. He's in a good place with the Spider Family. So yeah. All right. Sounds interesting. Sounds hardcore for what the Robin in this story has to go through. So yeah.
Yes, but it's good Tim stuff. It's good quality Tim content. I love it. It's a good book.
There you go. So any final thoughts on this before we move on, Ace?
No, just check out the run if you haven't. It's good.
Gotcha.
Also, Batman's blue
Alrighty.
again, and blue Batman is best Batman. I love him.
Oh, there you go, So there's that. So anyway, I guess with that, let's move on to the next book. Okay, this is my book. White Tiger Reborn, Marvel Voices, Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month book. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the year that everybody started noticing like all the flaws with these Marvel Voices comics, like I remember when it was I remember when it was announced, White Tiger's getting a book, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, wait, wouldn't this have made more sense if you announced a White Tiger one shot around the timing of Daredevil? Why did you feel the need to wait months for it to pop up in October? Seriously, like
Yeah, you could have a tie-in before people realize what happened to White Tiger and Daredevil.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't really looking forward to this book. I mean, I just kind of felt like I was obligated to talk about it. I mean, I have not liked a single Hispanic Voices issue. Like,
How do you think I feel talking about the Pride books every year?
Oh well, you've had some stories that you at least liked, right?
Yeah, but it gets boring after they use the same two to
I
five
know.
characters each year. Same with
I know.
DC.
Yeah.
I know. But in this case, I've literally had no story from any of the Hispanic voices issues that I said, "Oh, that is really great." No, no. I mean, they all
I
just
bet
been looked
Richter
through.
hasn't had a
Some,
singular
some,
story in any
some,
of the
and
of these
yeah,
Pride book of like these
yeah.
books because they don't have any stories for him in the Pride
Mm-hmm.
books.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? You can't be. They couldn't give him spotlight in either voices, apparently.
Oh, because they
So,
fucking hate him. They hate our
yeah.
favorites.
In this situation, like Marvel probably is like, okay, we'll just only focus on one Hispanic character, in this case being White Tiger. And yeah, they bring in a writer, Daniel Jose Older, and I'm pretty sure they have never written any other comic before because I never seen their name pop up anywhere else. So this is just like a
I feel like
novelty
I've heard of him
situation.
before.
Yeah, he's a writer for some other projects, but you know the way Marvel works, like of course they're going to want to go hire somebody who's of the community of the character to write the story, which I'd rather prefer somebody who actually writes a story that's a well written story rather than me saying like, oh, this is great because somebody of the community is writing it. No, I want a memorable story, you know. So that's what I'm trying to ask for this. So there is one good part. I should have brought a picture of this, but there's a germ of a good idea. I'll say this. You see Ava in the beginning of the story, and she has a cat, a white cat with black stripes, and then I'm thinking, you know what? Yeah, that would be a fun companion for her to have. And you know, of course, the story is well, she's rediscovering things about her brother Hector, the original White Tiger. Her journey leads to like fighting the spirit who's trying to control his spirit. Yeah, I know it's a lot of mysticism like that. Let me bring up that picture actually. Do-do-do-do. Okay, this was on the thumbnail, a more broader scope, but I want to point to you to the panels on the top right there. You see
Ah,
this evil spirit like literally popping out of the mouth of the spirit of Hector. Like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Okay, so yeah, which isn't the only one who brings up gory panels, audience. I can bring them up every now and then too, you know. So yeah, but yeah, regardless, at the end of the day, like you know, she basically is able to defeat this spirit by coming together and believing in herself with with the spirit of Hector and the spirit of Tiger, all coming together and beating this ghost. And I guess the only big aftermath of this is now White Tiger has green energy claws coming out of her hands, which I think it'll come in handy when we see her in her next adventures next October, audience. You know, because that's when Marvel likes to
yeah.
do their voices. You know, so yeah, that's what it is. Well, one of these years, audience, to have like a Marvel voices Hispanic issue that I actually like. You know, wouldn't that be a sight to see? You know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. Nothing much to say. So we could pretty much move on.
Wait, could I ask a quick question first?
Yeah.
Have you read any like White Tiger stuff? Have any of you guys read any White Tiger stuff before this?
No,
Not really. I mean, White Tiger is just a character that just like would pop up like as a team as a teammate in other books, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, mm,
I
for the
read the
most
original White Tiger's last appearance, which is why I was asking because I read the
which
Bendis run of Daredevil,
was
which
that
was like his whole trial arc.
yeah. Oh, so you're
It
talking
wasn't good. It was worse than the show, which is a feat.
yeah, you're talking about oh, okay, so you're talking about the story of Hector. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like I think the
talk about
biggest
Hector from
moment.
Pantheon.
Hector Ayala, the
Yeah,
original
oh
like
yeah,
White Tiger. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, for what they did with him, given the time that they had with him on Daredevil, he was pretty. I like the story, you know, but
yeah,
it just got lost in the sea with the other plots and the other stories that they were trying to build up to. So yeah,
yeah. They just I think they did a better job than the comic because the comic kind of like painted him as like the angry brown man or whatever.
yeah, I know, you know. Hey, it's very year one of Marvel, when it comes to characters like Hector, So
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We can move on to the next one. Now,
Okay.
let's give
Okay,
Marlo.
Gabos. You ready to be
Okay.
sad?
Yep,
Milo, you
Marlo.
ready to be
Yeah, go
sad?
first. Mhm.
Oh, I'm devastated. Okay, I am utterly.
I
I'm still not over it. I'm
Mhm.
still so sad.
okay. Well, let's first introduce the book first. We're talking about Marvel Voices Avengers Academy issue 60 Untold. When I saw the tweets that this book got canceled, devastated. I was
Because it
like,
wasn't
what the fuck?
announced beforehand. Yeah, because it wasn't announced before the issue came out. Because issue dropped at its usual time at midnight. It dropped in the States where I was. It's dropped at 5, and I read it, and I'm like, oh, this feels like an ending. And then I go to Twitter, and it's like, oh yeah, it's ended, and there was no warning, no nothing. So it felt even more like a
Homophobia,
homophobia and a gut
transphobia,
punch. Yeah, it was.
racism,
Yeah,
hating of the homeless,
yeah.
hating black people, hating young black girls who happen to have a disability, hating maybe gay people. I say
Hating
maybe gay people
polyamory,
because Blackheart and Immortus aren't a thing.
hating demons, just hating everybody, canceling this book. And it's
Hating Korean immigrants,
hating himbos,
hating himbos, hating thruples,
Spidey talk shippers.
hating
Uh,
lesbians,
Yeah, just it feels like it's. I feel like
hating
it's just.
dinosaurs, hating symbiotes,
hating mutants.
Well, that's just what Marvel does anyway.
hating Inhumans,
Mhm.
But I feel like from
hating Nepo babies.
Mhm.
I love you, Normie. I love you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Marvel,
just,
I love you, but I hate you at the same time.
yeah, it feels like they could have done something to like announce it or had like prepared people for it. Because I feel like the way it was announced as it ending, it was such a gut punch to see those who have been following the issue. And it was previously believed, I think it was previously believed it was going to get to at least issue 66. So to end at issue 60 was just like such a shock to everyone. And like, it just, yeah. And
Yeah, they
while,
didn't let us know beforehand. Usually, when they're canceling a book, they let us know beforehand, like they did with X Factor. Oh. But regardless, let's get this show on the road, shall we?
yeah, let's do it.
You want to start off first? Do you have
Yes.
the issue in front?
Yeah, I have the issue. Yeah, so it all starts off with McCarran or
McCran. That's what I called her.
McCran, who is like the manifestation of the crystal, and she's floating through space, and she appears to Immortus, and she's kind of talking about her story, like how she had a cruel father, she was born broken, and like
Can you go to the first picture after this one? Krypton?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
To be McCran and the two kiddos? Yup.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this was featured earlier on in the series, which was based on one of the earliest stories of her helping to the previous manifestation of Tommy and Billy, like the soul manifestation. I'm not gonna lie.
Wordplay there. Nice wordplay of Tommy and Billy.
If anyone knows me, knows I'm the Tommy fan, so I know it's Billy and Tommy.
Look, we all freak out when we see Tommy in comics, okay?
Yeah, but we basically everyone freaked out beforehand, I think, because someone said, "Oh, Tommy's appearing," only to find out it's like 2 cameos.
Look, it's better than nothing. Cameo queen over here, Tommy Shepard.
Yes, he's a comic cameo queen, yes, but yeah, but it's basically like retelling the story of her and her appearances. Because what's quite fun is she's her character appears throughout Oliviera's work. If you've read any of his other works, such as Empire, and it's actually, and they highlight these moments through the comic, and it shows her being present in different parts of these characters' lives, and how she's kind of protecting what they were kind of teased as a demiurge. But Yeah, but unfortunately, this was something we thought was going to be explored more. But again, because due to the cancellation, I don't know how much we're going to get into that, because it was something that was really kind of teased throughout the book of like this, the alternative, like there's a dark hold and the bright hold, and like this
The Reaper arc, the entirety of the Reaper arc with
the Reaper arc,
Sheila.
Yeah. And
we do get to see her in this cunty ass Phoenix-like outfit, but it's pink.
Yeah. I think the thing that this comic does do is like it gives us little teasers of what might have transpired if it didn't get cancelled early, and that's basically what this is in retelling, kind of.
Yeah.
What we might have gotten.
There's also a scene. Can you go to the next picture, please?
Yep. Oh.
Well, not that one. Go back. Okay, go back. Okay, just go back. It should have been Macran and Immortus, but it's okay if I didn't send it. I don't remember what pictures I sent. But basically, there was a scene with where Macran was going to Kid Immortus, in her garden or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, it's coming! It's coming, isn't it? Like the end, like so much earlier than promised, also sudden, also soon, you know." And they do have a chat about that, you know, and everything like that, which made me sad. I was like, no. Like, we get a group shot of the entire team with their costumes. Can I be honest with you? I still don't know how I feel about Aaron's fit in this.
Yeah, I kind of prefer his overalls. His overalls are kind of...
Yeah, he's known as Captain America of the Railways.
I feel like Aaron having an official costume kind of betrays his character, as I feel like his
especially this one, because like if they wanted to go in with like the railways thing, they could have given him like a conductor fit or something. I don't know. But
yeah, but like I just feel
what do I know? It's not like I don't have 40 plus OCs over here.
But like it's also like designed by Janet and Van Dyne kind of. And it's just like he's meant to be represent the homeless and the working class, and they could have played into that more by having him staying and representing that in his normal clothes.
Especially since Brielle didn't really get a new costume. She got upgrade. She got like cool boots and like a thing and everything. Sheila's wearing the same thing and all this other stuff. Justin can't really do too much with his costume, but whatever.
I feel like, Brielle's costume too. I feel like I like it in a way, but also it's just a skater skirt and some like platform boots. And
she's just wearing like goth fashion and emo fashion,
which is cool. But I wonder, like, it's weird, like she doesn't get like any kind of in this like point of like
not even a cool jacket.
Like it's cold out. She's fighting vampires. Like it's gonna be cold out. Give the girl a jacket.
Yeah, we also, the scene right after the group shot, we get a group shot of a bunch of villains, too. Oh my god, dude, oh my god, I'm sad about that, honestly. And then we got a scene with the villains. Did I send you the picture of the villains? It should have Blackheart on it, Cryptid?
No.
No, you don't see a lady who kind of looks like Dream Queen?
Silhouetted picture of them?
Hold on. Let me remember what pictures I sent before I start speaking.
I only got 5 pictures.
Oh no, okay, so yeah, no. We do get a scene. Hold on, Barbie, back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. Yay. Anyways, so yeah, we do get a scene with all of the villains and everything like that. We get to see more villain related stuff with this chick who kind of looks like Dream Queen. Love her. We see Blackheart being evil again, kind of. And we see Apostate kissing Brielle. Ooh. Why not?
I really want to see. I really like. It's just. I think it's really like. I really want to see that. Like I see these little moments, like Brielle kissing Apostate, and I'm like, I want to read that. I want to read how that happened.
And then we get the young Marvel version of Voltron with Lunella, Squid Kid, Kid Stiltman, and the St. Quag twins. Like, come on, man. That would have been so sick to see.
And it's so crazy, like no one else has done. And that's the one thing I feel like the writer did really well of this series is that he brought in characters you don't think about often and made them interesting parts of the stories. Like, I feel like that's what Infinity Comics really should do. And he really did that well. Like, having the St. Furies have like a really prominent story when they're not really featuring in anything else. And I just really want to see the twins again because they managed to like pull like a big thing like back in Gen X. It's just like seeing this one moment of them fighting the robot and like you just want to read it, and it's just again the
For
disappointment
real,
of
and we see this like version. I think it's of Aaron. It kind of looks like him, like in this like supervillain type look or whatever, with Sheila and Justin fighting like vampires. You know, we see like the archive of like I'm assuming of the stuff Macran has acquired throughout her life. You know, we even see like a picture of an alternate version of the Avengers Academy first class. You know, we get to see our lovely alumni, you know, Metal and Hazmat fighting a robot with Robo Arcade and the Proletarian in the back. They're like, yeah, you fight that robot.
Yeah, I
Drop-
love Proletarian.
Yeah, and then we see like, you know, we see a mugshot of like the Sinister Six, but it's with like characters that we've seen in the book. And one of them is that one fucking kid. What was his name? The one with the pumpkin head?
Pumpkin Jack. I love it.
With his Spidey Torch shirt. Can I get that as a shirt?
I think all the Marvel fans are trying to get the Spidey Torch T-shirt sorted for us because, like,
Marvel, capitalize on this shit since you wanted to cancel this book.
like sell the shirts at least. Give us something. Throw us a bone.
Like, give us a sticker. I'll take a sticker or a keychain at this point.
I feel like we
damn,
should just sell them ourselves. Just like
we also see a lovely friendship with Carol because she deserves to have friends, you know, and everything like that. Where we get to see some people fighting, some people hanging out, you know, which it's like the weirdest combination. We got of like relationships happening here. Oh my god.
well, Cindy and Kid Juggernaut were like kind of fighting because I guess they're kind of evenly matched in strength. And Pumpkin Jack and Marcus Weatherfell, I guess they were making out in the issue before. So I guess they were on another date. They were on an ice cream date, even though they're taking it casual. So that's kind of fun. And it's definitely
I love Rhinoceros. I love her. She's so slay.
She's so slay. Yeah, it's fun.
Like, she had like a whole spotlight issue about her, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think it's just definitely something people should read. I think it's quite fun because she's like a butch lesbian, almost mutant, but not a mutant, which I think is kind of funny.
We also get to see the scene where Lizard Boy gets an adopted grandma. Oh, it made me happy. I cried.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think weren't they like Morlocks from the like Morlock Massacre? I remember seeing something about those like characters being brought back for this issue. Pretty sure they died before.
I don't remember. It was probably in that group shot with Justin and Sheila fighting those little guys. I don't know, to be honest with you. But like there was like so much that we could have seen as well. We do get a scene for all the Kid Immortus and Blackheart shippers, you know, playing with the dog, having a little like Ghost Rider and also like Nightcrawler, like little toys and everything. It's like, hey, Marvel, you should make those into toys. Marvel, give us merch.
Yeah, and I think like this is kind of fun of like I think it was quite funny after the issue. I think Anthony got on Twitter and said like, "Oh yeah, they fucked," and I'm like, "Oh my God."
I believe it. Can you go to the next picture though? This time, and I mean it this time. Yeah, the graduation photo. No, my babies. It made me sad. It made me happy, but it made me sad at the same time. We also get a scene of Femme Loki again, with Sheila and Brielle and Apostate and a new person who I don't know who this is, and they're reaching for like the eye thingy from like those couple of issues where they were brought to Asgard that one time. Can you also go to the next picture too? Because I love them. The best throuple of Marvel, Aaron, Kari, and Justin. I freaked the fuck out last issue because I have been wanting to see this, like the relationship between Aaron and Justin play out since issue fucking 1, and then they gave it to us and then added Kari as well.
It was the perfect way to do it. I feel like it's a perfect way to do it, and I'm just so sad you get to read more of it. Like, we see more. We have to
Fuck
just
you, Marvel.
you had to hit the fan fiction sites to read it, basically.
Dude,
But
fan art, fan fiction, we gotta do it. We gotta team up.
I feel like what's also quite sad is I feel like as I tweeted about them getting together the issue before, and it got really popular, and I feel like this could have been a great way to get eyes on the comic and people reading it and like upping the readership, but they cancelled it before it had a chance to like flourish, which I think is really disappointing. Like, because people are interested, if you want to see this, people want to see these characters and these ships and these kind of relationships, but they just won't give us that and give us them.
And then people have the gall to be like, why did you turn this character gay? Like, make your own characters. And then when we do, this shit happens. And it just pisses me the fuck off.
And it's quite upsetting. We probably won't see them again now until next July or June. Like, we won't see them until next year.
Yeah, they bring McCran is talking to Immortus. We're going back to that, where she's like, "Oh, I wish they could have seen it as I see it. Like, I wish this world had found space enough and time, and the Reaper comes for us all." And you know, she like has this like really poetic stuff, you know. And Immortus is like, "Oh, well, anything remember us?" And McCran's like, "I hope so. Like, maybe there's a place, but who knows, to be honest with you." And we see like what looks like the watchtower, like the lighthouse or whatever, like crumble, you know, with like a person, like a figure of a person behind it. We don't know exactly who this is. I like this. I'm gonna say it's the Reaper, or it could be the Demiurge. But can you go to the last picture, please?
Yep.
This is the last picture, and the only reason how I knew that it got canceled was because Anthony posted this picture onto his socials, onto his Twitter and Instagram, and I was like, no fucking way, this is the end. And then I read it, and it was the end, and I was like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
It was like it blindsided the entire fandom, because like there's such a I feel like there's a healthy readership, and a healthy readership that was engaging each week with the comic, and is like the reason why lots of people were subscribing to the app. And it just felt crazy that like suddenly,
like what else am I gonna read on the fucking app? Like, do you want me to read X Factor for the 20 millionth time? Do you want me to read the same like 30 issues of the original Alpha Flight run? Like, no, bitch, I want to read something new. And this is one of the few books I was actually keeping up with. You know, because it actually had characters that I liked. Like, I actually like Aaron, regardless of what Cryptid says, you know? And, like, I like Justin. I love Justin because, like, oh my god, a queer Korean character? Fuck yeah. I feel somewhat represented. Cool. And it's like, we see all these cool characters, and they're put into a book, especially, like, for some of these characters we're only probably going to see, if we're lucky, once a year, you know? And it's like... or even at all. So it's like, it was cool to see them in a book together, you know, growing as characters and everything. And there was like so much that I wanted to like to see in the book, like especially character arcs and stuff like that. Like, fuck, man, fuck you, Marvel, I hate you.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. They keep I think like the problem with Marvel and Disney as a whole, they just keep canceling queer media, and only after they cancel it, they realize just how much popularity, and is actually they're leaving money on the table by doing this. And it's just like they're constant like if we're thinking in the capitalist way, which I hate to do, but it's like they're constant like leaving it on the table means we're missing out on such great stories, and like they're missing out on money, which is just crazy to me. Like, just the hate of queer books and queer, not hate, but maybe hate, but like the hate of queer books is just like handcapping Marvel in its own way, and it's just upsetting that it just doesn't let these stories shine and live and breathe in the space they deserve to be in, you know?
For real, we can't win, man, no matter what we do, and especially since we're in this society where they hate anyone that isn't a cishet white dude, you know? It's just like, come on, man.
And again, I feel like some of
cry about it. Give us something for once.
Yeah. And it's so shame, because some of these Infinity comics I generally think are better than some of the stuff being published right now, like in print. Like, and I dropped like the current X line of like, other than like Ultimate, like I don't know how long ago, like maybe earlier this year, because it just wasn't speaking to me anymore. But this is a comic, and the Infinity stuff, as that's something I've actually been keeping up with and actually reading and enjoying. And it's just such an annoyance that they like wrapping, it seems to be wrapping up a lot of them too at the moment. So I don't know what that is, but it's yeah.
I don't know. It's just like with the fact they keep canceling queer books and also just only giving us like one shots or mini series, or if you're lucky get put into an anthology series. It really shows how we're entering in this new age of society. This definitely like this fascist type of society that we're moving into, you know.
It is.
And it's
It does.
just like, come on, dude. Like, I get it, you're scared of us, but what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
We have done
I
nothing besides just live.
feel like
And you
also
don't
this.
even want us to do that.
Yeah,
And
but
too
also
bad,
also,
we're gonna tell our fucking stories.
yeah, we also the thing is we will still tell our stories and stuff. I think that's one thing this comic did really well, and this whole run. So if you do get a chance, like read, check out this run, like I would, like the whole run. I feel like has told queer stories really well, and has like highlighted like realistic and real kind of things, like the issues surrounding the Arnie Roth Center felt so real, felt like stuff I've dealt with or like stuff I've worked with working in queer spaces. And it's just a shame to lose this book. And it just makes me so mad. And I'm going through like the stages of depression, of like grief, I guess, through this book. I'm kind of coming into acceptance now. But I feel like give me a week and I'm going to go right straight back into anger, you know?
Dude, that's me with X Factor, which was another book that had a primarily queer cast that really fucking upsetted me when it got canceled. You know, they don't want us to have queer stories, but too fucking bad, we're going to write them anyways. We're going to tell our stories anyways. And even if it's fully indie, because we know with indie project, like with indie comics, we're allowed to have our fucking queer stories, you know? Marvel is, and DC as well. I'm bringing them into this too because it makes sense. They don't want to like lose money from like the very specific type of comic book readers, so they cancel our books, even though we do read our books. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Kill yourself.
Yeah. I do want to tell that to Marvel. I do want to just rush into the Marvel office, and every time they want to cancel a book and just go, "Ooh, don't do it!" Like I do.
Don't
just
touch
have
my patience.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of like, and also just sidelining queer characters. Like I'm looking at your profile picture right now as North Star, and where is he, Marvel? Where has he been?
No, we're gonna see it. We're hopefully gonna see him by the end of the month as a pirate.
Oh my god, we're seeing him again. Like it's just,
but like probably as a cameo, because they don't want to do these characters justice, dude. It's like you would think for the Pride books every year, you would see North Star as like a main player in this because he was the OG. But at the same time, it kind of works for his character. But also at the same time, they don't give a shit about him. After his fucking wedding issue, we didn't fully see him, but minus just like cameos and stuff, until 2019 with Extremist and Alpha Flight True North, and then in X Factor, where he was the leader of a team finally, and then we saw him in Trial of Magneto, and then we saw him as cameos again until 2023. Again, they do not want us to win because they are scared of us, and honestly, I don't care. Kill yourself. Okay. Like, fuck, dude. You guys, they're so fucking annoying, dude. And I'll stand by that, man. Y'all are like all of those like cishet, racist, homophobic, misogynistic assholes. You guys are annoying as shit, and go get a life. Go get a fucking life, dude, and leave us alone and let us have our fucking stories and let us tell our tales. Like, we should be allowed to have stories that aren't just our pain, you know, or just like what y'all deem as acceptable. Okay, Heartstopper and Love Simon, I'm looking at you, bitch. I have beef with those, but regardless, we should be allowed to tell our stories that isn't just acceptable to what society wants us to be. And this was one of those stories where it allowed us to be who we are, you know, to tell, like, you know, you don't get throuples often in mainstream queer media, you know, so it was great to see like interesting stuff as well. But anyways, in conclusion, on my behalf, fuck you, Marvel, for canceling this book. And Anthony, come on the podcast one of these days if you want. if you want. No, and Anthony, join the Discord. Join the Discord server. I've been trying to hit you up about that for a while, even though I don't run the Discord server. But go on the Discord server. You'll have a great time. Get the rest of the squad. I stand by that. And anyways, anything you wanted to say on that?
Nah, I think we've summed it up perfectly there. I feel like, yeah, just
I'm gonna miss
Bring
this
up-
book so much, dude.
Dude, it was so good.
I kept up with all of it, and I've like recently got caught up a few days ago, and it's just, dude, this
I'm
book gave me everything. This proletarian was in this book, and like this book made me like Normie, and and
Yeah,
the
like,
like
I
the
like
Arnie
that
Roth
book,
arc
but-
was like insane, like so real and insane, and like I just, oh god, I'm gonna miss everything about this book.
Dude, it was like it was like the only book in mainstream mainstream Marvel DC comic books where it wasn't just like Puritan characters who don't have like queer characters who don't have sex and white people. So, you know, it was a pretty diverse group.
The book
And
changed my life. Everybody was so gay and everything. It
everyone
was
was so
beautiful, and
gay.
I.
minus like the children, like Lunella.
yeah.
And other than that, everyone was so gay. Ugh, I fucking hate you, Marvel, dude. I hate you.
I might have to get a tattoo. I might have to get Black Heart's tattoos, like in
Yo,
memorial.
we should get Avengers Academy tattoos, dude.
Oh my god, I did have.
I have an X Factor tattoo. That's how dedicated I was to that book. I'm down to get an Avengers Academy tattoo, dude.
I mean, I have a Daredevil tattoo, and he appeared in the book, so. He was
I
actually
mean-
there.
I mean, a win is a win.
Oh,
Keep in
wait,
mind,
like
wait.
I got
smiled
a
when I saw him in
North
the last
Star
issue.
cameo too. So I win.
I do like the fact, like the adult heroes who have been following them have came to their graduation and stuff. That was really nice to me. Like, but I want to read that issue. I want to read, Aaron talking to Daredevil. Dealing with this hero.
I wanted like Justin to go talk to North Star, about being like a queer superhero. I'm glad that we got the two Juggernauts talking though.
Yeah.
So we all know that Cade Marco is gay. I feel like if you're gonna be a Juggernaut, you have to be some flavor of fruit.
True.
Well, he should have he almost came out in that issue. Let's be real. He almost came out in that issue.
He almost did, but he's not. Because Marvel
if Black
hates
Tom
us.
was there, he would have came out. I think if Black Tom was in the issue, he would have came out like fully.
Yeah, but he had his adopted kid, so it works out in our
That's
favor.
true.
I'm devastated. Marvel, fuck you.
We actually got a gay Mysterio, and they threw it away. Fuck.
Fuck you, man. Oh, man, we had
so
a gay
cool.
Captain America. We had a gay Mysterio and an out to gay Juggernaut. Oh my god, dude.
Trans
We got a bisexual Blade. Oh, I fucking hate everything.
We had a fighting torture look. They
You
gave a
could've had
shirt
it all.
to Roberto. They gave a shirt to Roberto. Like
We got Spidey Torch.
we got Spidey.
But Torch is
multiple
canon
times.
because of this book. Peter knows about it because of this book. Like,
Oh
I
my
just never read
god.
fan
dude.
fiction.
Oh my god. They're never gonna let Johnny Storm and Peter Parker out of the closet, but I don't care. I want them to make out. And not through fan fiction because of a pumpkin head weirdo.
I could have a soft spot for him though. I have a soft spot for that
I
weirdo.
do too, but it's like at the
it
same
is fun.
also that still like that one stilt kid, he kind of looked like a monkey. He kind of looked like Curious George.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm devastated. Oh, I'm so pissed. We're never gonna see these people again, dude, unless we're really lucky.
And I doubt it. Like, we're lucky we got to see Escapade more than like once, I think, after New Mutants, but I think we're like.
I was just glad, like, originally I came to this book because of Aaron, because I really liked Aaron and I really liked the few stories he had, much to the dismay of others. And then I read Justin's comic as well, and I was like, I love him too. Oh my god. And it's like we could have had something great, even if we didn't get every single story we could have gotten, even if it did end at issue 66, I would have been fine with that, But like, it's just like the way they did it. They didn't give us a formal announcement. We had to find out through Anthony's fucking Twitter and Instagram account that the book got canceled without any warning beforehand. Even
And
with that Jason Todd book, at least we got a formal announcement.
yeah, and not only that, like it's like 6 issues earlier than it should have. Like, even if it ended it, like how like 6, you could have given us the 6 more issues. How hard is it to do 6 more issues? Normal issues, right? Like they could have just given us the 6 more and then cancelled it, and then I think people would be a lot less mad. But cancelling it 6 issues early, I just
Yeah,
at a moment
I've
like
not
this,
seen any news from like the Marvel like page talking about how it got canceled and everything like that. So it's just like, what the fuck? I wonder, like, I'm genuinely curious why they canceled the book. Like, why did they do that? You know? So I'm just like, what the fuck happened behind the scenes? Ugh, this is just pissing me off, dude. I'm pissed. That's all I have to say, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tape Rumble is writing Everything Dead and Dying. That is a queer zombie book. Go read that one. Go read anything else that Anthony Oliveira and the rest of the crew are doing. And read Avengers Academy as well. And also say fuck you to Marvel for canceling this book. I feel like we can agree, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So rest in peace, Avengers Academy. You were a great time. But now I feel like we should move on.
Okay. All right, then. I guess with that, we should move on to the next book, audience. So, moving on to the next book.
Oh, it's your book.
Yay! We're talking about Red Hulk issue number 8. The best thing that ever came out of that Captain America 4 movie, I gotta say. This was Benjamin Percy. You made me a huge ass Red Hulk fan because of this. I'm not going to go too into detail about like everything that's leading up to here. Like all you need to know is like this is a One World Under Doom tie-in. Uh, Thunderbolt Ross right now he's a POW, right? He's being experimented on by Warwolf, and dude, there are like some gory ass shots like from the last issue where like Warwolf he's trying to reverse engineer the Red Hulk power from him. So he has him strapped to a table, and he's randomly converting parts of his body to Red Hulk, while the rest of his body stays normal. Ugh. Really, really gruesome stuff. But luckily, during this book, one of the agents of this facility, I didn't really think much of her. Like she just kind of felt like a random character, or a random background character. It's this lady who's on the cover. Yeah, apparently she might end up being bigger down the line because they went as far as to actually give her own code name. Let me see, what's the name? Wild Streak. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, she was able to find out that Stryker is actually working directly under Doctor Doom. So yeah, this is a comprise of interest. So she stages a way in which she distracts Warwolf and frees Thunderbolt Ross. And this is around the same time the other POWs, such as Machine Man and Deathlock, they're trying to break in to save Ross too. Yeah, they're fighting through like these mutated sharks and whatnot. So, yeah. Bottom line is they were able to free him. They were going to one of the escape helicopters there. Oh man, even though Ross is a badass in his own right, he's still an old man right now. So, oof, oof. Very intense, very intense. It got to the point where Wild Streak had to shoot him with a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart. Like, damn, dude. So yeah, Ross finally gets back up, and he gives him the directions of where to go next, which is Washington. And this is also a bit hazardous because right now Ross is considered an enemy of America right now because dang Doctor Doom, you had a country turn on against one of its biggest patriots. Dang it, dang you. So yeah, Warwolf comes in with his Hulkbuster aircraft, ready to blow up Ross and the rest of them out of the sky. And then that's when Ross jumps out of the helicopter and says, "Never again. Wildstreak, Machine Man, Deathlock, they risked everything for me. But I'm
Okay,
only as
Machine
important.
Man's a fucking
But
robot. He can get fixed, no fucking problem, dude. He is fine.
you know, just because you replace a robot with a different model doesn't make it the same model. You know, like
Go tell
if
that to Vision.
Machine Man was put in an incinerator. You know, I mean, heck, ask Viv Vision about that when she quote unquote when she got killed for a brief while. What did Vision do? He created a new daughter. I'm like, okay,
I
so
also
does that
have beef with Machine Man for my own personal
mm,
reason, but at the same time, it's like I don't
because like
give enough
right
shit
right
about Machine Man.
right now they're prisoners of war in this. They're basically blood brothers going on right here, right? I mean, it's just them against this corruption under Doom's world, you know? So I like what Red Hulk has to say here. They risked everything for me, but I'm only as important as my mission to save this beautiful broken country from Doom and his acolytes as he breaks the Washington Monument and is about to throw that at the Hulkbuster aircraft. Bring it the beep on, Riker. Oh yeah, I can, this beat down has been on my mind for a while now. I like what Red Hulk had to call Stryker early, in a couple
He
issues
ripped
ago.
up the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's going to use it to destroy the Hulkbuster aircraft.
Also,
I'm like,
wait, quick question. You keep saying Striker. Is that like the same like X-Men guy, or is this
no,
like a
no. Stryker is a werewolf. This was a
oh,
fairly new
okay.
character that came out 10 years ago. The way he's described is think of Solid Snake if he was a cybernetic werewolf. You know, yeah. Unfortunately, his debut series in Howling Commandos it got canceled after 6 issues. But this was at a time where Marvel was really cranking up the number ones. You know, like oof, oof. Yeah, so but I love like this book also just gave him some time to shine because like I know the parallel they're trying to get with this is because Ross is Red Hulk, they're going to give him like his own version of the Wendigo, because Hulk
Hey,
has
don't put that out in the
one,
universe, man. I just call him Wendy.
Wendigo. Well, I mean Wendigo meaning like the various Wendigos that are out there. I mean there
Yeah,
isn't just
don't put
one
that out in the
Wendigo.
universe.
Yeah. But anyway, so I mean, what better version of a Wendigo for Ross to fight than somebody who actually is a military guy who's a cybernetic werewolf, you know? So man, the one line I like. Thing about werewolf, he is a he is a damn diehard Doom follower. So of course, Ross will call him a disgrace to the flag for betraying his country for Doom. So yeah, I can't wait for this because like I'm anticipating Red Hulk to punch him to the moon. That's what I'm hoping for.
I can
So
think
yeah.
of a few people in our real life that would do the same thing as
Mhm.
that.
Oh, yeah, like me, like
No,
yeah,
I was talking about the
me.
betraying your country because you want to suck the dick of a a person who happens to be maybe a little bit
Mhm.
more powerful than you. I wonder who I can think of off the top of my head. I
We're
have to think
about to
about
be
that.
beat. Yeah, yeah. I also like to see a person who says that they want to move to Latveria after finding out what Doctor Doom did to his people. So yeah, yeah. I wonder if there are anybody like that out there anymore. So
Nope.
yeah. So 2 issues left in this. This has been one of Benjamin Percy's best works. Can't wait
I
to see how
think
it ends.
Helverine is cool. Go read
Yeah,
Helverine.
go read Red Hulk, audience. It's intense. And yeah, yeah. And we know Red Hulk's story is still going to continue on in Captain America's book. So looking forward to that. And yeah, go read your Red Patriot, audience.
Go
So,
read
all
Helverine.
right. Gotcha. All right. With
Go
that,
read
we can
your
move on.
books.
All right. With that,
With
we can move on to the
gore.
next book.
You guys ready for some gore?
Always.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yay.
gore! Anyways, I'm talking about Look Into My Eyes issue 3. Indie
Okay.
comic. I'm probably one of the only few people on this podcast that actually talks about indie comics. No, we don't count Bionicle.
Hey,
Bionicle's not an indie comic.
I talk about Captain Planet. That's an indie. Like,
Yeah, but that's based off of like a pre-existing medium.
Okay.
I'm talking about
Go
like
ahead.
fully original stories,
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
where we left off. So we start off at the Fortune Island Lighthouse, where we see someone just like typing away on a computer and everything, and also getting some messages on Knock Knock, which is their social media network there, and we're seeing what's happening to Nancy, and people are like, oh my god, cringe, she's crying black tears, stop making stupid people famous. And so basically the person who's watching the thing was like, wait a minute, what was that, and puts on her glasses and starts seeing Nancy's black tears, and before she can like see more of it, the signal goes out, and this person like pukes up some black goop, and then takes a drag at their inhaler because you gotta breathe. Just kidding. Anyway, so this person texts their friend, which in this case is RJ, the main character. And RJ is like, oh, Ellie, I need your help. I'm stuck at school with like Jesse, Michael, and Sam and Nancy. Like something fucking weird as hell is happening here. Like, send help, And so then she's trying to like call RJ. Obviously, since there's no signal anymore, can't call her. So she goes downstairs after we get like, she's gonna go downstairs to figure out what happens. After that, we get like an ad for Knock Knock, but we get a QR code that you can actually scan, and it'll take you to a website to see some other cool stuff, by the way. Anyways, so we cut to RJ and the rest of the crew, and they're obviously not getting any reception, just what they need and everything. And so RJ's like, oh, I haven't heard any screams or creepy noises, so I'm gonna go out to investigate with an umbrella, obviously, because priorities.
Yeah. A witch? Oh no. Wait, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Witch is out. Let me message him. Oh, yeah, these things happen. Okay.
Sorry,
Witch.
I got knocked off again. Hold on. Let me go
Yeah,
back to
it
the ad.
happens.
Did I fall out of the when I was talking about the ad, or a little bit beforehand? I don't remember.
A little bit beforehand, the ad.
Okay. So I'm gonna start off from the page previously. So, the character in question, the first character we see, she gets a couple messages from RJ, who's the main character, and basically she's like, Ellie, I need your help. I'm stuck at school with Jesse, Michael, and Sam, and Nancy. Like, help us out. Like, please tell someone, like, something weird is happening. I don't even know if this will reach you and everything. And so Ellie tries to call her, but nothing happens because there's no reception. But then we get an ad right afterwards of Nancy like in the phone, with like a bunch of black goop. And there's an actual QR code that you can scan, and it'll take you to a website, by the way.
Yeah.
Basically, we go back to RJ and the crew, and basically RJ's like, oh, like, does anyone have any reception? And Jesse's like, no, it's suddenly gone, like just what we fucking needed. And so RJ is like, oh, I haven't heard any screams or creepy noises or anything, so I'm gonna go investigate. She gets an umbrella because why not? And so both both Michael and Sam decide to go with her, And Michael's like, oh, you don't need to come. Like, I got this. Like, she'll be fine with me. And Sam's like, that's what I'm worried about. And RJ's like, I don't need either of you guys. I'm fine. Leave me alone. And so Jesse's like, girls, ladies, calm down. Like, it's fine. Like, if there's one thing every horror movie has taught us, it's to never, never, never go off on your own. So why don't we all just go together? And so RJ's like, okay. But these two idiots are going to slow me down. And so Jesse's like, she's having a whole Twilight moment, but doesn't even realize it. Anyway, so we come back to Ellie, and she's like, shit, like,
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is this actually real? Like, what is happening? Like, RJ needs help, but if I tell mom that we're still in touch, she'll kill me, you know? Because something must have happened, you know, for her mom to have that reaction. So she decides to go downstairs, you know, to like go help her friend.
Right.
And so basically, we see some of the black goop with the weird eyeballs, like spilling out of the trash can that she puked in earlier. And so we cut to RJ, Sam, and Michael. They're walking down a hallway that's covered in like blood and black goop and like destruction. You know how it be.
Yeah.
And so basically, Michael's like, so what if I'm right? Like, what if this is all just a collective hallucination, a bad trip? Like, think about it. It all started at the party. Like, we all drank there. Maybe some I don't know what could have been in the alcohol, or maybe someone laced our drinks. And so Sam threatens Michael, you know how it be. And RJ's like, can you guys stop? Like, I knew this was a fucking mistake. Like, I'm the only one looking for a way out of here, and you guys are fucking fighting. And so basically Sam is like, fine, I'll just go, like, take a look around. And so RJ and Michael are just, like, alone in the thing, right? And so basically Michael was able to snag Sam's phone. And he went through it to look for clues, you know? And he thinks that it's all Sam's doing. And basically RJ's like, okay, like, will you stop already, all this drama? Because I don't trust Nancy, seriously. And so basically Michael's like, oh, like, trust me, like, he's sus. And RJ's like, I know about you and Susie. And Michael's like, what? I had nothing to do with Susie, you know? Like, the one who had an affair with her was Sam. Like, the nudes were for him. And you see the QR code again, which you can scan, by the way, which I'm going to go on the website again later, and then I'll come back to you on that.
Yeah.
So he's like, basically, like, I know Nancy's not perfect, but this, like, no angry cheerleader did this. Like, this is definitely, like, a devil's work, you know? Like, something was unleashed here again. And so RJ's like, shit, like, I don't know. This is, like, probably way deeper than we thought it could be. And so, you know, they keep chit-chatting about this stuff, and they're about to kiss. Girl, what? Priorities. You are in a horror situation where practically all of your classmates are dead, minus, like, 5 of you. And you guys are gonna make out? What in the horror movie is this? What in the cliche horror movie is this? Anyways, so from off panel, we get, is anyone there? And so, can you go up to the next picture?
Sure thing.
We get some 2 people in hazmat suits. One of them has a Tamagotchi, and the other one has a fucking Labubu on their belt. A fucking Labubu. Really? Priorities? You wanted to accessorize your hazmat suit? Anyways, so they're like, stay there, like, don't move. Like, it's like, hey, we found survivors. Like, they're on the 2nd floor of the school. There's 2 of them uninfected, as far as we could tell. You know? And someone is telling them that, like, to be cautious because symptoms are not always, like, visible, you know? Like, use force if necessary. And so Michael's like, what the fuck are you saying? And RJ's like, no, okay, let's not provoke these people. And so guess what Michael does? Guess what he does in his dumbass tattoos?
What?
He fucking provokes them.
Oh, boy.
Fucking lovely. So basically, Jesse is alone, right? And we see Nancy. And so Jesse starts, like, crying the black tears, you know, and everything. And he's like, no, don't look at me. I have it too. And so Nancy's like, oh, like, don't, like, stop resisting. This isn't a bad thing. Like, I finally understand, you know, like, what we have to do what those old hags did, like, embrace the darkness. We see this, like, scary ass fucking monster thing behind Nancy and everything like that. So that's lovely. So we cut back to Ellie, right? And we see her mom in a hazmat suit and everything like that, where she's the one telling those 2 people from earlier, these 2 people in the hazmat suits, about, like, you know, be cautious and everything like that. And she was dead ass like, damn, I really, like, thought that group was, like, this group was really gonna make it. That damn kid just had to screw it up. And so Ellie's like, Mom, like, what you doing here? And she's like, oh, like, you should be sleeping. When was the last time you took your medication? And everything like that. And so basically, Ellie's was like hadn't taken it for a while, and her mom is like, do you know how dangerous your electrosensitivity can be whenever you had that? Okay, girl, pop off. You have superpowers. And she's like, take your medication right away. And Ellie's like, no, like we have to help RJ, you know, and all this other stuff. And her mom's like, you're still in contact with her after all she did to you? Like you're fucking stupid. And tries to tries to force her to take the medication. And basically, Ellie uses her fucking powers to be like, you're not gonna drug me anymore. Can you go to the next picture?
Yep.
Oh yeah, and all that other stuff. But we also see the fact that her mom like hit a wall or something, and like blood is spewing out of the hazmat suit, and the screen is cracked and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh shit, like oh my god, what happened to mom? You know, and she finds the Project Knock Knock, and she also finds like the medication that's literally called MK Ultra. Interesting, very interesting. So yeah, going back to it, Michael gets tased basically, and so Sam is like, psst, like this way, RJ, like come on, we gotta go, and everything. And so like RJ's like, who the fuck are these people? Like how the fuck did they get here? It's like, and Sam's like, they're probably just a fucking cleanup crew, dude. Like whatever. And so basically RJ's like, Sam, are you in on this Cannon Corps bullshit? And Sam was like, stop talking like Jesse and Nancy, like we're in trouble, like come save us. And so remember that monster that I told you about earlier? Well, you must understand, Jesse tried to resist it. He got scared, and that's why this happened to him. Can you go to the next picture?
Yep.
Yay!
There we go. That's the gore,
The
audience.
gore! How do you guys feel about gore?
Whoa.
Yay! Come on, it's
They'll
a me book, Cryptid. It's a me book.
They'll tell us about how they feel about this in the morning when they have nightmares of this, which, you know.
I think this is only a 5-minute issue miniseries, but still, yeah.
Oh.
Guts, blood and guts and black goop and monsters.
I would think the first response you would get if you see somebody, that gored up, it would be to call the ambulance or something, rather than cradle them in your lap. But
well, Nancy has been fully affected by whatever the fuck's happening. So obviously her response is not the same as everyone else's.
Got it.
And she's like, oh, monsters aren't evil. They're just as scared as we are. Like, they're a part of us. We have to embrace the darkness. And basically, before Nancy could finish what she was saying, the monster bites her head off.
Yikes.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, she was kind of a bitch, so I don't fully blame her. And basically, the monster throws Sam away, like out into like the desks and trash and stuff, you know, and he crashes in there and everything like that. And so basically, gets whacked in the head. The monster gets whacked in the head by RJ with the umbrella. That umbrella was useful, guys. Use what you have at your disposal. And so basically, can you go to the next picture?
Yep.
Die!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What exactly is that kid stabbing that monster with at the end?
An umbrella.
Okay. Just
I'm
checking.
assuming it was an umbrella with a metal tip. You know how those are a thing?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I might want to get an umbrella with a metal tip because you never know when you're going to need it. Also, I just need a new umbrella. So commissions are open, guys. If you want to help me get a new umbrella. I draw cool art. Anyways, so basically, the people in the hazmat suits find RJ and they're like, "Oh, terrific! We found a survivor, and she's like out of it. You know, like Norma's gonna bust our asses when she finds out." And basically pulls up the file on RJ, basically giving her name, her age, like status, origin, occupation. You know. And yes, if anyone was curious, she is Vietnamese, which is really cool. She's a Vietnamese punk girl. We don't see that often.
Yeah.
So
I think her design is so cool. Like just all the stuff is so cool.
yeah, she's really cool. Like at the beginning of the story, before she decided to go on Knock Knock, she was making like zines, of her like podcast and everything, and for her podcast to hand out to people, which was really cool. I wish I could know how to make those because I so would have made those. But anyways, moving on. So basically, RJ is escorted out of the room, out of the classroom by the people in the hazmat suits. You know, where we see Sam, just under a bunch of rubble. We don't even know if he's alive. There's like a 50-50 like chance, you know. Anyways, so basically, they're like, you know, they're walking outside and they see someone holding up like the card, you know, the ID, being like, oh, that one's coming with me, and so they're basically like, whoa, Mrs. Ripley, you weren't, like, we weren't expecting you so soon. Like, don't worry, everything's under control. Like, we've assessed the situation. And so basically, they're like, you call this, like, she's like, you call this control? Like you assessed ass. Trust. Like, she's coming with me. I don't want to hear no fucking excuses, okay? Like move it. And so RJ goes with her, you know? And so basically, they go to an isolated area, but kind of close to where everyone else is. And so basically, RJ's like, oh, like Ellie's mom? Like, what's all this? Like, what's happening here? Like, what are you doing in Cravenwood, you know? And so basically, the person in the hazmat suit's like, shut the fuck up. It's me, Ellie. Trust. I'm not going to kill you, man.
Yep.
And so basically, she's like, oh my God, Ellie. So they hug and everything. And so basically, like, Ellie's like, I promise I'll explain everything to you, but first you have to see this, and we seriously need to get out of here, like, now. And so basically, Ellie is going through everything, like all the files that Ellie gave to her. Yeah, RJ's looking through all the files. And so basically that's where the issue ends, as the internet connection has been restored. So that's where the issue ends. Stay tuned for next month in November when I talk about issue 4. Stay tuned for more murder.
And
Next
more
time on
gore,
Dragon Ball
audience.
Z.
That's
There
what you missed
go.
on Glee.
Gotcha. But anyway, we have one more book left to go, so we should probably go on to that. So,
Yes.
Okay, I'm really glad we got everything else out of the way because I have a lot to say. I've just recently finished the Bendis run on Uncanny X-Men, and I liked it at first because it was good, and I was fooled into thinking that it would actually be something substantive at the end, and Cyclops would come out of it looking cool.
Well, the thing with Bendis is you realize the longer he goes on with a run, he kind of starts not
Yep.
caring at that point.
This
You
is
know,
the first part of what I was getting. I've read a lot of Bendis's work. I loved Ultimate Spider-Man. It was one of the first comics I like fully read. That was great. I recently read his Daredevil run, which was also great.
He's good. He's good. He's really great with street level characters.
Yeah.
You know,
He's good on occasion, but I noticed that like in like the 2010s or whatever, I feel like Bendis kind of started to fall off a lot.
Oh yeah,
And
a lot of people
get to
notice
this book.
that. Yep.
I'm sure you've all seen the hype aura edits of Revolutionary Cyclops or whatever, and fighting the Avengers and all that stuff. And all that stuff was great. That was like the first part of this run, and this run, I really like this run, really like most of it, because like a lot of it was like interesting like character study stuff for like Scott, and Dazzler had a cool arc. I didn't always like the way Bendis wrote Emma. Sometimes he was weird with her.
Wait, wasn't Dazzler actually Mystique in this run? It's been a while.
Yeah, she was kidnapped and replaced by Mystique, but she had like a whole vengeance arc after that, which was fun. And it dealt with a lot of. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, like, it's been a while since I read this run from X-Men, but I recall one of my favorite moments, right, was, you know, when you had like those future versions of the X-Men come back to the present.
Yeah.
And you find out that you know, they're actually bad guys.
Yeah, they're actually the Future Brotherhood.
Yep, like the one who people thought was old woman Kitty turned out to be the child of Mystique and Wolverine. And they're like, oh, and Wolverine's response, "I'm never having sex again." Turns out
Which
I have a child with Mystique in the future. God
Mystique
dang
was
it!
really weird during this era too.
Mhm.
Like part of this okay, so I need to preface this issue with like the arc that like sets everything that happens up in it because it ruined
Yeah,
this book. So what happens is they find the will of Charles Xavier, which had somehow not been discovered before this, which I find really hard to
man.
believe, but whatever.
Mhm.
They've found his will. And if for any of you don't know, the whole reason Cyclops started on his revolutionary arc was after Avengers versus X-Men, which is dog shit. Um,
Yeah.
where
It's-
where it was the Avengers' fault, first of all. Like,
oh,
let's be clear, the Avengers tried to bungle the whole situation because Hope was just supposed to like get the Phoenix Force and like everything was gonna be
Mhm.
fine. But then the Avengers were like, no, we don't trust her. So they tried to kidnap Hope by storming the beaches of Utopia, and then Cyclops fought back.
Yeah,
And then Iron Man was like, I know what to do, and he
they tried
shot the Phoenix
negotiating.
Force with a big gun. That was his like
Oh,
brilliant
dang.
idea to shoot it with a gun,
Now,
and that split the
now,
Phoenix Force in five. That's why we got the
that,
Phoenix Five.
that was a simplification. At first, Captain America wanted to negotiate with
Okay,
Cyclops,
yes, but he
and
still wanted to like take like Hope or whatever, who
yeah,
like
because
hadn't done
there,
anything.
there wasn't much time. They were on a
There
timeline because
wasn't,
the
but like
Phoenix was coming. Yeah,
yeah,
you
the
know.
Phoenix was coming, but the X-Men have dealt, and also I feel like everybody who wrote this book forgot that Jean Grey had the Phoenix during New X-Men, and she was fine.
Hey,
Like
oh,
literally nothing happened.
I forgot. Was Jean around during Avengers
Oh
versus
no, she
X
was
Men?
dead. She died at the
no,
end of New
Yeah, yeah,
X-Men. She
so
was dead for a
yeah,
while at this point. But she had the
yeah,
Phoenix during that run, and she used it to
yeah.
like help and save everybody, and she was like in
Hmm.
control of it. So Cyclops was
Hmm.
trying to explain to Captain America that they had it under control and they've dealt with this thing
Hmm.
before. Because the X-Men haven't dealt with the Phoenix. I
Hmm.
mean, the Avengers haven't dealt with the Phoenix at all. The X-Men have
Hmm.
dealt with it every time, and they know how it works, and they like know what to
Hmm.
do or whatever. And the
Yeah,
Avengers waltzed in and tried to bungle, and then Iron Man shot the Phoenix Force with a gun and
yeah.
then split it into five parts, and that's why all of
Hmm.
this happened. And
Yeah.
then the Phoenix Five tried to like take over the world and like install world peace or by force or whatever, and then the Avengers
Yeah.
fought them. And then
Hmm.
once they started knocking people out, and like the Phoenix Force got divided up between less people, they started like going crazy. And then Cyclops like in the last
It was all
bit of
it was all because Namor decided to go attack Wakanda.
it was all
Yep.
because of Namor decided. Yeah, all of
Yeah.
this is also Namor's fault too.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's his fault.
He's like, I
Um,
want to control the world with water.
yeah,
Hmm.
oh, God.
Look,
Yep.
sometimes he does good things, sometimes he does bad things, but he does it
Yep.
for
Yep.
one reason and one reason only: is to look after
Yeah.
his own people.
And
Yeah.
y'all wonder why T'Challa hates Namor so much. You
No,
want to
yeah,
know?
I'm fully
You,
with
you,
T'Challa like hating
you
Namor.
want
colors, like,
you want to know what broke apart T'Challa and Storm? It could be traced back to Namor because
Namor.
of that.
All goes
Yeah.
down to him. I wish he
honestly,
never
yes.
became an
Honestly,
X-Man.
I would rather see the beef between Namor and T'Challa any day than them trying to pair Namor and Sue Storm any day of the fucking week.
Oh, any
Right.
day.
Any
Yep.
day.
Like, yeah.
Hmm.
But then Cyclops like went crazy and stole the Phoenix, last of the Phoenix Force from Frost, and then he killed Charles Xavier, who was fucking around when he shouldn't have been. Okay, he was like, "Oh, you sit down, Scott," and Scott was like, "You're not my dad," and then he killed him. And then they got the Phoenix Force back to Hope, and like it was supposed to be in the first place, and then surprise, surprise, she fixed everything with it because she was supposed to have it in the first place, and none of this would have happened. The Avengers just let her have the Phoenix Force, but
Wait,
whatever.
wasn't it a combination between her, the dragon from Kung Lun's power, and Scarlet Witch? I recall.
Was
Wasn't
Scarlet Witch there? I
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
remember
was
the
there
Kunlun
doing
he's
the
thing.
there at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. It's been years since I read
No,
it.
the Phoenix and ended with Scarlet Witch and Hope both saying the words "No more Phoenix." That's what
Yeah.
I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, And I
Okay, but
believe
she could have handled it though. Like I've
yeah,
like she if they had just if the Avengers hadn't
Magneto,
interfered, none of this would have happened. Is my main point.
and, and,
Like
and,
I'm not
and I
gonna
do
lie.
believe
Sometimes, sorry, I was just gonna say, like, sometimes I feel like the Avengers cause their own problems.
yes,
A lot of the
Mhm,
time, they cause a lot of their own problems, and if they
see
just let,
Hank Pym.
mhm,
yeah,
yeah,
well, even out about Hank Pym, like, the Avengers are
mhm,
just always causing their own problems and make things worse for themselves all the damn time, and it's just like, I like the Avengers, but like, guys,
mhm.
come on, just let the X-Men live. Like, I know it's a stupid story, but
Um,
And then after this, Cyclops got all the blame for everything, even though it wasn't technically his fault that he killed Professor X. Professor X deserved it,
mhm,
by the way, but that's neither
he
here nor there.
definitely did.
Um,
mhm,
he was possessed by the cosmic entity or whatever. That wasn't his fault. And the same X-Men who stood behind Jean Grey when who they thought was Jean Grey was actually a Phoenix Force duplicate or whatever, but who stood behind her when she had like eaten up a sun and killed a planet full of like 5 billion people. Um,
yeah,
like who do like stood by her and fought by her. They left Cyclops to rot in prison or whatever. Wolverine came
mhm,
by and was and like yelled at him or whatever. And Cyclops was like willing to let that happen. He was willing to go down as a martyr as long as like he reminded Wolverine that Cyclops was the one who saved the mutant race and Wolverine had almost doomed everything by trying to kill Hope. Um, so he got his lick back. He was like, I'm content. But then one of the pals he made in prison, who was another mutant guy, I forgot what his name was, but he got shanked in prison by some bigots in there. So Cyclops was like, fuck it. He accepted
mhm,
Magneto's offer for a jailbreak, and they formed the Revolutionary X-Men. They also got Emma,
mhm,
but Emma was mad at Scott for everything, so they broke up. But
yeah,
she still joined the team. Um, this is Cyclops, Magic, Magneto, and Emma against the world, and they started going around actually freeing mutants who were being persecuted. They stopped mutants getting brutalized by police during the first onset of their powers and stuff. Um, and they slowly started accruing an X-Men squad of trainees that they trained up at the new Xavier School, which is like my
mhm,
least like favorite part of the run because like why'd you call it that, man? Like, I don't,
mhm,
the Charles Dick writing in this book is insane. Like, even after he's dead, everybody's like, "Oh, Charles is like the greatest guy ever, and you killed him, Scott." This guy's like, "Oh, he was my great father figure." Like, do we forget all the animosity Scott had towards Xavier before this happened? Like, Xavier sent his little brother on a suicide mission and then wiped his mind about it and shit. And like,
mhm,
he lied to the X-Men about so many things and gotten them into so much trouble. Like he wasn't a great guy, but this run like keeps like mythologizing him after his death was my least favorite part. But all that was whatever until the last arc where it gets to live Xavier, where before he reveals who inherited the school, he sends them on a fetch quest because there's a super powerful mutant called Matthew Malloy. Um
mhm.
who had like the power to fucking like destroy the world or whatever. He'd like this
Yep.
crazy volatile power. So Xavier didn't tell like at the time he couldn't turn off his powers with his powers. So he pretended to be a little boy named Charlie, and he was like, "Hey, I'm your pal," and he befriended the boy. And then slowly used his powers to put mental blocks in there once he gained his trust. And instead of telling literally any of the X Men about this after it happened, he kept the secret to himself for years until
Mhm,
Matthew Malloy was like older and he saw through Professor X's illusion, and then he started to remember everything that he did accidentally when his powers developed, like killing his parents and stuff. And he was like, "Take away my memory again." So he did. Um, and he kept tabs on him for years, but he literally didn't tell anybody else about this. And then after he died, he just dumps it on the X-Men to go do the same thing to the most powerful mutant in existence. A
yep.
mission that could very well lead to all of their deaths, and he just like kind of throws it on them. And he's like, "Ah, you can't read my will or read the rest of my will until you do this thing." Also, Mystique's my wife for some reason. Everybody's like, "What?" Um,
Yeah.
that was a
That
big
was a little.
bombshell. The Mystique was really weird during this era. I don't know. They're just kind of doing whatever with her. Married Charles off screen, I guess. That makes
Mhm,
sense. I don't know. And then after that, Cyclops is like upset because Xavier kept this from all of them because like duh. But then the other X-Men, Wolverine's like, you guys, you still got to do it though because it's his dying wish. And he's like, you lied to all of us. He's like, yeah, well, shut up about it. Who cares? We still got to go.
Yeah, fuck you,
Like,
Charles.
yeah.
Yeah, I just
So
don't get
then,
like it seems like
yeah.
X-Men it just always does X-Men comics. Even now, like the most recent Hunt for I can't remember what it was called, but the Charles Xavier thing from last
X-Men
summer.
Hunt.
X-Men Hunt,
Yeah.
like it's just it constantly come back to this thing is like, oh, he was this great man who done so much for the X-Men, and like there is something there. He has done good things, and like, but he's also had such a complicated legacy, and everyone acts like, oh, but somehow we always keep dick riding him in the comics, and we just go back to this. It's like I don't think the readers actually want this. Readers who are comic book fans don't actually want this. I don't think.
Yeah.
It just feels very frustrating. This keeps happening, and like
I'm,
this one run is just seeing this happen. Like going back and seeing this run again is just like, God, it's such a
I
like
can't even
weird.
escape Charles Dick writing when he's dead, dude. Like I'm so tired of this man. I can't. I hate him. He's so annoying.
And then they twinkified him in Krakoa, so that was
Yep.
interesting.
Hey, at least we got Charles X Magneto, but I don't know. It was implied. Anyways, so then like they go off and Scott wants to talk to Matthew, but everybody's like, no, he's too dangerous. So they try to have Rachel like pull a psychic whammy on him from a distance, and then it doesn't work, and they all get like scattered. About he like destroys an entire helicarrier and like sends them flying. And then Scott formulates a new plan where he actually talks to him. And surprise, surprise, after Scott starts talking to him, he doesn't kill anybody else. Like Magneto shows up and he's like, Scott, you're using him as a weapon. Scott's like, I'm just trying to talk to him. And then like Matthew Malloy sends Magneto away and he's like, did you kill him? And he's like, no. He's like, you told me not to. Scott actually gets to start like controlling the use of his powers and not kill people. But everybody blames him and thinks he's trying to use him as a weapon or something. So Shield does like a missile strike and incinerates Cyclops magic and Matthew Malloy there like instantly. But then Malloy like reforms and he realizes he can't bring them back from the dead, so he kills all the Shield guys. And he goes back to the like Jean Grey school, where like Emma like gets mad and antagonizes him because she blames him for Cyclops' death, and then he kills her, and then Storm gets mad at him, so his powers freak out and he kills everybody there. But the day is saved because Eva Bell Tempest, who was one of Cyclops' students, goes back in time, and like saves she goes to Xavier and like makes him it tells him this whole story and makes him use his powers to make sure Matthew Malloy's parents never met. So the problem is solved because he was never born.
Yeah.
And then she has the fucking gall, after because the time resets and they're all like sitting there waiting for the will to be read, and then it's revealed that Xavier left Scott to inherit everything because he was like his prize pupil or whatever. And everybody's like, what? And Iceman's like, he never would have left it for you if he knew what you were now. Iceman is an asshole throughout all of this. He's like at one point when Scott gets mad
He
for
didn't
Xavier
have
lying to them
needs for
again.
the dead, guys. He wasn't a nice gay person.
He literally goes to like when Scott gets rightfully upset about what Xavier did in the past. He's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Kill him again?" And then Scott like optic blasts him out of the room. And then everybody gets on Scott's case while Iceman is like badgering him 24/7. And after Scott leaves, when like the remaining X-Men that are there, they're like, "Don't you have any empathy?" He's like, "No." Then he fucks off on a ice bridge. Um, and it's just, like he's such an asshole throughout all this. But then like Scott goes off on his own once he sees Evil there, and she like tells him that he died in the past, but she like fixed everything, the reset time or whatever. And then she blames him for literally everything. She calls Scott's hubris as the reason why everything went to shit, and Matthew Malone like freaked out and killed the X-Men. When it was Shield, it was the world governments who did that, and it was Beast because he ratted out Scott's location because he was trying to like call the world governments to help solve the problem when he knew that they wouldn't like help or anything. He admits like later on that Cyclops was right because they didn't actually want to help solve the issue. He got Scott airstriked. Like he got him killed and he got everybody else killed. That was Beast's fault and the fault of the humans and the world government who did that because they don't trust mutants and stuff. But she blames literally all of it on Scott. and calls his whole revolution a nervous breakdown after Charles Xavier's death. And then the narrative just takes that as fact. Bendis just goes like, "Yep, everything else, all the other stuff you saw Scott doing throughout this entire run, that was just a nervous breakdown he was having." It's the same thing he did in his Daredevil run, except for there, Matt like actually like was going through stuff after Karen's death or whatever. And like he made a bunch of like irrational decisions trying to control all of crime. So like it made more sense there. But Bendis just used it as a out of jail free card here. Like you don't have to like grapple with like any of Scott's like morality or like any of his decisions or whatever. Nope, he's just gone crazy. So does that mean that must mean that everything else he was doing was bad and wrong and just and just he was being crazy. He didn't know what he was doing actually. Um so then he leaves the school that he inherited to Storm and walks off and asks her to take in his students, and he walks off to go disband his revolution.
Mhm.
And then we get to this issue, and it's the culmination of Bendis's enshittening arc of ruining literally everything up to this point that he's written about Scott. Um, and then yeah, so we get to this issue, and Scott like walks back to his base, which also Scott like can't made his base in a decommissioned Weapon X facility because it's the last
Yeah.
place Wolverine would look for him, which I kind of love that part. Um, but he goes up there, and then he sees Click there, his bro, who's finally realized that he was cool actually. Um, and wanted to join up with the revolution, but Scott's like, actually, caught me at a bad time because I'm like disbanding everything, and he tells all of his students that he's packing it up and he's gonna go turn himself in for the U.S. government because that's like a reasonable thing to do for a thing that wasn't actually his fault. Because he had a nervous breakdown, guys. He wasn't actually mentally well for everything, so that must mean all of his revolutionary ideology was bad and wrong, and he has to go turn himself into the authorities because that's what you should do. Um, and then like Goldballs, who's one of his students, and he actually becomes really important later. But he like
Yeah.
freaks out at Scott, and he throws like a bunch of balls at his head and knocks him clean out. Um,
Yeah.
and then we get to if you could go to the next image, please.
Yep. Uh.
We cut to a conversation between Cyclops and Havoc. Um,
Mhm.
where Alex tries to tell him to like think about everything. Like this is Alex, by the way, who has been like against Scott like most of this time until now. Like he was the one of the ones like calling him like crazy and a terrorist or whatever, and everybody else like calling him mutant Hitler or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and but he's like telling him to chill out and think about this. But Scott's like, no, if Charles Xavier's death was my fault, even though I was possessed by a cosmic entity, it was all my fault or whatever. Um, and then he's like, oh, you read his will, and he's like, he left me everything, and he's like, oh, he's like, it's like I was his son. And I'm like, Scott, this is the same man who like abused you for years and used you as a child soldier and stuff, and almost got your brother killed and shit. And like he's like, oh, I was like his son and stuff. Um, and he's like, I deserve to let them crucify me for this. Um, and then Alex is like, "What the hell is wrong with us?" And he's like, "Aliens kidnapped our parents and killed our mom in front of us," which isn't true. Bendis didn't even read Cyclops' origin story. They they
Mhm.
they didn't kill his mom in front of them. The Shi'ar Empire executed his mom in space in the Shi'ar Empire later on in front of Corsair. That didn't happen. This Bendis
Mhm.
he doesn't even know what he's talking about. It makes me
Yeah.
really upset because like famously Scott and Alex didn't know what happened to their parents. They just thought they died in the plane crash. Like I
Yeah.
and Scott knows that they executed his mom later because Corsair told it. Like it's
Mhm.
um and then like Scott Alex asked him like keep going on with like what happened with his students. Like Goldball knocks Scott out, and they're like, "Oh no, you killed him." And then was like, "Nah, he's fine. He's just knocked out." So they get Tempest to heal him, and he's like, "Anyways, he's like, you all of you still need training," and he's like, the Jean Grey school is more than enough. and everybody's like, "What's going on? What are you gonna do, Miss Frost?" And then Emma's just like, "I'm gonna go back to being the White Queen of the Hellfire Club," which is insane.
Yeah. That is
She
insane.
would,
Sorry, yeah, I read that bit. Yeah, that's so insane. It's 2013 Emma. Like, why?
yes, she wouldn't do that. She's been a good guy for decades at this point, and she hates the Hellfire Club. Like, am I going insane? Like,
Yes.
Mhm.
she was abused while she was in there and stuff. Like, God, Bendis doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know these characters.
Dude,
Like,
we all have a love-hate relationship with Brian Michael Bendis. I swear to you.
Yeah.
God. And
Mhm.
Bendis was like the first comic book author I ever read because like the
Mhm.
first comics I ever read were these like collected editions from my library of like Miles's like first couple of issues of his first run. Like
Yep.
Bendis is what made me like fall in love with like Miles as a character and like Spider-Man and stuff. Like I owe all of my comic reading to reading his books. And I look at this shit and I'm like how is that the same like God.
Oof. Oof.
uh then also Hijack, who is one of Scott's students, he yells at Cyclops and he's like, "You lied, you're a liar." And he's like, "I didn't lie." And he's like, "You made a promise and you didn't keep me." And he's like, "Fuck you, Scott Summers," and he walks away. Um, and then we get to like Alex asking about Cyclops' revolution. He's like, I was bracing myself for the call that your brother's taking over the White House and he's taking a helicarrier and crashed into the UN and stuff." He was like, I was gonna have to choose sides, and I probably would have chosen yours. Um, and he's like, "Cause I hate fighting you." And Scott's like, "No,
Yeah.
you don't." And he's like, "Well, not since we were kids." And I'm like, "That's not true. You fight Scott all the time." Like every other decade, they do like an X-Men issue where it's like brother versus brother, Cyclops versus Havoc.
Oh, they did that in X-Men Misfits, which was a manga.
Yeah.
By the way, it's actually a pretty good manga. I recommend it.
Oh, yeah, I'll
Mhm.
check it out. But they did that in the Claremont run. They did that recently during X-Men Hunt, dude. They fight all the time. Like you guys don't have to lie. You just called your brother a terrorist like the other week, like you know. Um, but anyways, but then like we cut back and forth between both Emma in the past and Alex now asking Scott what his revolution was, and could you please go to the next image?
Yep.
So we get this, which is like a panel that has been passed around a lot, and this is like one of the only pieces of good writing in this issue, where like Scott's forced to explain himself and his ideology, and he's like, "We fought them and they hate us. We fought alongside them and they kill our children in the streets. We pack up and move to an island and they destroy it. We move to another one. The fucking Avengers storm the fucking beaches. We were supposed to be the next step in human evolution, yet we've become an endangered species. We're everything they're not, and we're a shadow of our former selves." Um, and he explains that he had to make like all those threats or whatever to start a whole revolution or whatever because it was the only thing that would make humans like afraid of mutants again and make them like leave them alone because Cyclops was out there like actually doing stuff. But like and like Bendis like paints this in the last like couple of issues here as like all like Scott like freaking out after Xavier's death and like is a desperate bid. But Cyclops actually did do a revolution. Like they try to paint it here as empty threats or whatever. He did do stuff. Like he went and fought like the police. He fought Shield. He fought the Avengers to keep mutants on the street safe. Like he did all that shit. Like he went toe to toe with Shield multiple times. And for the run to like retroactively go back and pretend like Scott was just posturing the whole time is insanity. Like I read what you wrote, Bendis. I read the book. Did you forget?
Does he have short-term memory loss or something?
I guess so. Like it's insane. And then we get to Cyclops' conversation with Emma in the past, and she's like, "I knew all of that, you know." And he's like, "Yeah," and like, duh, Emma would know all this because she like knows Scott. And like, I really like Scott and Emma as a couple. I know Marvel doesn't because they like broke them up like 5 years after they got together. But it was fun, you know, while it lasted. Like even though the way they started was completely horrible and toxic or
I have a
whatever.
question for you. Genuine question.
Yeah,
What's your favorite Cyclops ship?
Cyclops and Emma Frost. I don't like Cyclops and Jean. Like hot take,
Do you do you
they're
like
bad for each other.
do you like Cyclops, Jean, and Logan together?
I don't know. I it was a way of all time. To if only for confirmation that not full confirmation because Marvel hasn't acknowledged it since, but the implication that Cyclops was bi. I appreciate it for that. However, I don't think with Jean should be with Wolverine or Cyclops. I
He should
don't.
be with Storm. What?
Yeah, sure. This is like get her away from them because they've both been like horrible to her in different ways. Like
Yeah.
neither of them deserve her. Scott and Emma were good for each other.
I
Like
will say
they
though, my favorite Emma ship is Emma and straight Emma ship is Emma and Sean or Banshee, basically.
Oh,
Which
I
might
love
be,
oh yeah, that's fair.
but I do think there's something interesting in Scott and Emma. But I am a Sean Banshee, Sean Emma shipper, basically.
Oh, I love
That's
that. I love
That's
that.
real. That's real. But Scott and Emma were like good for each other too during the 2000s. Like she helped him stand up to Xavier's like abuse or whatever, and like helped him fortify his mind against him and stuff. And like they were like supportive of each other. Like during like the like astonishing and stuff. And then the like dirt relationship like deteriorated when they got in the hands of like other writers during like the like 20 like early 2010s and stuff leading up to
Did
AVX.
Emma
But
and Scott start in Morrison's run?
yeah, they started in Morrison's run with the whole psychic cheating thing.
And then over time it
Yeah.
got better.
But yeah, it got better after that. If we just ignore how it started, it was good. Trust. You just gotta pretend like all that other stuff didn't happen. But then
Yeah.
we get to this conversation, and then like after they've broken up, Emma like is like, maybe we should start over, and he's like, how I wouldn't even know where to begin. She's like, I mean everything. And then can we go to the next panel, please? Because I have a lot to say about this shit. He's like, you mean us? And he's like, Emma, at this point, I wouldn't touch you with Namor's trident, which is fucking insane. Like, oh my god. Like, he throws, like, the whole Namor thing back in her face after, like, when, like, during Dark X-Men Revelation or whatever, I think that's what that book was called. It was, like, a one-shot. After the whole Utopia book, which is the whole the like the comic book like event Utopia was really good, by the way, if you haven't read that. But like they've been over this. They've gotten past this in the relationship. Like Scott admitted or Emma admitted to like cheating on Scott with Namor to like better like uh cover herself like while she was infiltrating Norman's cabal and stuff. And
Yeah.
Scott she admitted that to Scott and they got over it. Scott she was like I'm horrible and Scott was like no, like I still love you and everything. You're not a terrible person. You're not bad. You're a hero and I love you or whatever. And like he like helped her during a really like dark time in her life when she was like considering running away from it all and everything. And they like supported each other and it was beautiful. And then Bendis comes in and has Scott throw that in her face. Like
Yeah.
they've already grown past this. Like, why would he say this? It doesn't make any sense. It's like completely out of character for what their relationship has been before this. And they were like healing and like even though Emma was mad at him at the start of this run, they were like growing like more comfortable with each other. And their relationship was like growing back up until this point. So it wasn't out of character for Emma. It wasn't unreasonable for her to like ask to like for them to like start over and everything. And then Scott just does this horrible shit to her. And then in response, she goes into her diamond form because like it's inconsistent, but like some of the time like she can't feel emotions in her diamond form and stuff. And I think it's like it like often used like as like a coping mechanism for her. So she
Yeah.
goes in there after he's just said this horrible shit to her. And she's like, well, and he's like, have you ever even attempted to apologize for ruining us? After all you've said and done, you want me to get back together with you. And I'm like, ruining us? Ruining us. Insanity. Like Scott was the one who fucked up the relationship anyways, because he started like being dismissive to her like during the 2010s after during and after like Schism and stuff, and then like AVX happened, and him like attacking her was like pretty much the thing that killed their relationship. But like, ruining us? That was you. You did that. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Like, who is this man? Like, this is the same Scott who was like begging her to talk to him at the beginning of the run, and now he's saying this shit to her when she's trying to have an openly like honest conversation and trying to like connect with him or whatever. And then Emma like goes off on him or whatever. Um, and she's like, I might as well tell you, I can read your thoughts again. Um, she's like, I know in actuality, no matter how brave a front you put up, that you're actually very conflicted in regards to me. We will always have this in common. He's like, since when? And she's like, you've always been conflicted about me. Is this the downside of reading thoughts? I can read all of them, all the little doubts and fantasies and what ifs and fears. I don't get to pick the ones I read. It's either all or nothing. And to be involved with you is to be involved with a very complicated man. And he's like, no, Emma, I meant how long have your powers been fixed? And she like she doesn't answer him. She's just like, and even after all we've been through, I root for us because when we're good, we're as good as it gets. And he keeps asking her like how long, and she's like, I root for you because even though doing this is so insanely frustrating, I'm your biggest fan. There's a Scott Summers in there whose thoughts I admire with every cell in my body. And then you know that's true because I let you in. I have no one else. I've shared my thoughts with you, and when I couldn't anymore, I missed you so much. And I actually wish my powers were still broken because this is brutal. And then she leaves, and she's like, "Good luck, Scott. Good luck with your revolution." Because you and I both knew it wasn't an idle threat when you made them, and it certainly wasn't one to the rest of the world. It is real whether or not you want it to be. And she walks out on him. And then after all
Yeah.
this, Alex has the gall. So when Scott tells him that Emma's gone, like he's like, she'll come back, and he's like, no, like she's gone. Like actually, she like left. He's
Yeah,
like,
why not do
we
anything else?
yeah. Alex has the fucking gall to be like, you're free. We should be celebrating. Excuse me? What the actual fuck? Wait, when did everybody jump on the Emma hate train, dude? What? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, oh my god, it's like even Scott tells him to stop. Like, he's and then like form a plan. Um, and Scott's like, I have to do something, and he's like, how about not hanging yourself on a cross or not turning yourself in? And I'm like, okay, Alex, like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this. And he's like, how about doing something Xavier would actually approve? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, Jesus Christ, can we get away from Xavier for 2 seconds? And then Scott's like, something Logan would approve of. So I'm like, give me a break. Give me a break. What have you been concerned about what Logan would approve of? You guys have been
No,
beefing
why
since
would you want? Why
2010.
would you want Logan would approve of that much?
Yeah,
Whatever he wants.
Logan hates you. He didn't care if you like got shanked in prison or whatever. And he's been like preying on your downfall ever since you got out. And like all of your friends, former friends in the X-Men hate you. Why do you care about what any of them think? And he's like and then Alex is like something that helps our people, something no one would ever expect from you. And Scott's like, you have something, don't you? And he's like, well, you know what? I damn well do. And he's like, tell me. He's like, I'll show you. And then he's like, are we? And then Scott's like, are we gonna open a Summers Brothers pizza parlor? And he's like, that's better than what I have. And he's like, I'm really glad you're here, Alex. And he's like, aw. I'm like, aw, so cute. It's such a cute relationship. I hate all of you. I hate the direction this book is taken. Everything Scott built up during the entire run, all of these kids that he helped out, and trained up and gave like new lives outside of like persecution by the authorities or whatever. All the going to bat he's done, going up against Shield, against whoever would like mess with his team and stuff. Everything is all just reduced to a nervous breakdown, and Cyclops immediately disbands it all because somebody told him it was bad. And now we're back to Xavier worship. And it's all just
I think that's the biggest problem with X-Men comics. Constantly they go back to turning its back on revolutionary ideas and the revolutionary X-Men. And that's the biggest problem with it. Kakara was revolutionary, so they had to destroy it. And now we're in such a boring era of X-Men comics because they're afraid of revolutionary ideas. When we are seeing mutants being murdered in the streets, they look like, when I finally got round to the X run at the X Academy runs type stuff, and reading they built a bus of mutant children because of their former mutant children, because they might be sympathetic to mutants. I generally just like, I would become like Scott Summers revolutionary, like I'd be way worse revolutionary than anyone. I'd be part of 10 mutant brotherhoods, like if I lived in that world, because of the stuff that mutants are put through every day in that
Yeah.
universe is ridiculous, and we're supposed to like pretend that it's good that they sit there and take it when, and anytime they do anything for themselves, or try to do something for themselves that's not nice, people come along and destroy it, or it's turned or toward being treated as if it's someone being acting insane or bad, and it's just like, why would you have to keep reading books like this? It's especially disheartening being
Like,
from
this
an
is just our
minority.
real life. Why do we want to see this in our fantasy?
Yeah, I think being from minority group two, constantly having to read comics where you see minorities who, once they do get something good or finally seem to like fighting for themselves, get kicked down again, and having this kind of being taught that no matter what you do, you should take it quietly and you'll finally be a good one. And it feels like that's what the message they try to give us over and over again.
That's like literally just like white supremacist dissimulation bullshit that
Yeah.
we witness in our real life.
It's just a situation about putting the toys back in the toy box. Really, it happens to many other characters in books where they have to maintain the status quo no matter what.
Yeah,
No matter
and
what
it's like
happens.
some people want to like assimilate into society, and that's fine. But like when they're trying to push it down people's throats who don't want to assimilate, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is the status quo of discrimination, and constantly going back to that level of discrimination where it's okay to do what has happened to mutants. It's just like sick. Like I have to keep going back to it and retreading old water in uncreative ways.
Yeah, and it's just like we're getting sick and tired of it. We want like new stories and everything like that. We want to be able to thrive. That's why all of us liked Krakoa this much.
Yeah.
But they don't want us to be. They don't want us to be happy. They don't want us to have interesting stories. They don't want us to move on. They want us to just stay where we are.
Yeah. And it's just like
for
me, like Cyclops was right. Like let's be honest. Like all the other like books at the time were painting him as this sort of like heinous villain or whatever. Like if you just read like the beginning of like all new X-Men or like Wolverine and the X-Men at the time, you would imagine Cyclops was out there like blowing up buildings and stuff, like killing innocent people in the streets.
No, that's not.
He was rescuing. All he was doing was rescuing mutants from the cops. We're about to be arrested for their powers simply emerging and stuff. Like Triage was he was a black kid whose friend died and he saved their life. He brought them back to life, and he was arrested and he was being interrogated and tortured by the police for saving someone's life. So Cyclops broke him out of there and told him that he wouldn't have to be afraid anymore. And they painted him as a villain for this. Like he's evil, like Wolverine and the rest of his X-Men squad talk about Cyclops like he's the devil or something. Like they say like this is gonna cause like a war and mutant kind is like gonna go extinct from this or whatever. That's like why Beast brings like the young X-Men into the future or whatever.
There's like other reasons for why like people would like why they would say that, but what Scott was doing is not nearly as bad, and I'm glad that they're trying to fix that in this day and age. Kind of. I don't know. I haven't read the newest X-Men series. So
it's alright. You know, Cyclops he goes up against like the government a little bit. He like has beef with this like Asian dude who keeps trying to press him. But like fundamentally, I think like Bendis. I feel like Bendis was the wrong person to write this book. Because I don't believe he has a good grasp on who Emma is. Like he has kind of a shaky grasp on who Cyclops is. I do not believe he has read much Emma material before this and had chosen the run with how he like writes her. But also like he fundamentally like he's a like cishet white liberal guy, and he could not write a revolutionary for a full run. Like he had me like fooled with how good like the first part was or whatever, with them like standing up to the Avengers and Shield and stuff. But then like they had to bring it all back to how Charles's vision was ultimately the best thing ever, and Cyclops was bad for deviating away from it and for actually like standing up for mutant rights and for being a revolutionary. Like throughout the
Mhm.
entire run, the whole word revolution is treated as some dirty word, and the fact that Cyclops even said it is like everybody talks about it like it's gonna get all of mutant kind killed, because that suddenly means he's gonna have like a bloody war in the streets because he said the word revolution. Um,
Mhm.
and but like that's not true. Cyclops, like, his revolution wasn't all like gonna cause a war, and it wasn't empty threats either. He was just a guy trying to look out for his people, which is what Cyclops has always been. He's just doing it more actively and more actively defying world governments. But because it's not within the confines of like a standard X-Men operation, and because he said fuck you to the world governments and the Avengers or this stuff, he's like the worst person ever, and he has to give up everything he's built because he didn't do it the right way, because he wasn't respectful. And this whole run ends with Cyclops just being like, "Oh, hey, my revolution was actually me assembling every X-Men ever to do a peaceful demonstration on the steps of the Capitol building.
Oh my
See,
God.
guys, that wasn't so scary. I'm still a nice guy." And it's bullshit. It's terrible. It's disheartening. It flies in the face of literally everything else this run had set up. And I hate the end of the Bendis run. I really liked the stuff before that, but he like fumbled the bag massively.
Yeah, that's something that's been common with Bendis in a lot of his runs towards the
Yep.
end. So, whew, wow, we made it to 2 hour and 40 minute mark.
Jeez.
Geez, I think this is the longest episode we've ever done, actually, lengthwise.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
we got.
there's a
I
lot
guess
of
we're
venting.
passionate about what we wanted to talk about. Hey, I got to talk with fellow Avengers Academy people on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah,
Oh my god. In
but,
conclusion, fuck you society, fuck you government, fuck you Marvel. And
Cyclops was right.
Hashtag Cyclops was right.
mhm.
And
All right,
it was
then, guys.
Cyclops and
I think we
Magneto,
should-
and all the way in hell is Charles.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think we should probably end tonight.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks again for Ace of X and Marlo for joining us at the last minute. We really
Yeah,
appreciate
of
you
course.
guys. So,
Also,
all right.
I enjoyed being here.
It was a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
gotcha. Anyway, with that audience, we'll be see you all next time.
Bye.
See ya.
Uh,
Bye.